very nice to be back. My body's feeling it a little bit. We've had 4 weeks off, so yeah, just getting back to like the grind of county cricket again. But no, it's really good to see all the girls and seeing the winter that they've had as well. Hearing about Dubai, gutted I missed that one. But yeah, it's really nice to be back. Looking forward to getting going on Saturday.
Got a really exciting group of cricketers this year who've made a lot of progress over the winter, and I'm quietly confident that we'll have a really good season. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to some really big performances from the girls.
I think I saw a big difference this time last year from the first professional winter that they had, and they've just added to that and seem to have gone from strength to strength, and they put in some amazing performances in the County Cup that's just come away with a trophy, so it's a great start to the season. They all seem full of confidence, which is a brilliant place to be starting going into the Charlotte Edwards Cup. We've got a big trip down to Hove to sort out first, but no, they're a tough team. They had a real successful team last year. They beat us up here at Sale in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint, so I think first and foremost we want to get one back on them. It'll be a tough game, but we're looking forward to the challenge. Just excited to get going.
They are a tough side, and they're a very good side, and they've been together for a long time. So from that perspective, they're a pretty solid unit with bat, with ball, and in the field. So they perform really, really well. And we didn't really hit our straps with the bat. Had a decent power play, but after that we didn't bat the way we wanted to bat. And also, probably as a unit, didn't bowl the way we wanted to bowl, and his fielding was slightly off. So yeah, I mean, the key to defeats is bouncing back in it as soon as you possibly can, and we talk a lot about taking the learning and moving on, and as long as we take that learning and apply it on Wednesday, then as a coaching team we'll be really, really happy. Obviously we want to win the game, there's no doubt about that, but for us it's all about the process and the performance and applying the learning that we've taken from the game on Saturday.
Hello and welcome to the Thunder Show with me, Alex Hartley. We are going to be doing a monthly show where we look at all things behind the scenes with the Thunder. Today I am introducing Kate Cross and Emma Lamb. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
How are you both? You very well?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I'm a bit nervous actually.
Other than fluffing all your lines, I hope they go out on a bloopers.
I have been practicing as well. So,
have you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, no. Lammy, you had an amazing final for Lancashire yesterday. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, it's good to be back with the girls this week and playing the last 2 games for Lancashire. So yeah.
Good to be back with the girls. She came back, and what did you get in your first game?
What was it, 80?
80 not out first game back.
Get my eye back in.
You said I wasn't timing anything.
Didn't feel great, but it's all right.
And yesterday, 5 for 5.
Oh,
the
yeah.
best ever figures for a Lancashire bowler, so well done.
Thank you.
Before we get into that, how was both of your winters? So you've been away in Australia and New Zealand for the Ashes and the World Cup. Crossy, first of all, how was your whole trip? You were away for a very long time.
Yeah, that's a really hard question to answer, because how do you summarise 3 months of not only your life but of cricket, where we've done an Ashes and a World Cup in one answer? It's too hard to do. I don't know how you've answered this when you've got back, but I've basically told people that it was a long trip. Like, that's just my go-to. It was just really long.
It felt like a lifetime, didn't it?
I mean, we were away for 3 months.
Yeah.
We were kind of semi-bubbled because of COVID restrictions still in Australia and New Zealand, and then it kind of climaxed in one of probably the best finals, best in terms of like runs scored and performances, and we were obviously on the losing end of it. So yeah, how do you summarise that?
You can't, can you really?
No,
Okay.
it's too hard.
Lammy, you were meant to be away for 3 weeks with the academy. You went over with the A team. You played in that A series. How was that, firstly?
It was actually really good. I obviously starting off thinking I was going out for 3 weeks, like you said, and then that turned into 3 months, which was a bit of a roller coaster, as
She
Crossy said.
She said to me halfway through, she's like, I've run out of clothes.
Yeah,
I've run out of things to
yeah.
wear.
So got a new bag and ended up filling that with loads of clothes when I was out there. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, the first 3 weeks were amazing being a part of the A's. I felt like I did well personally. I think we lost a few games. I think we lost all games actually. We lost all the games against Australia, but there was a few close ones, so some learnings there. But personally, I did well. I think that helped me get picked for the World Cup, obviously.
So when you got the call for the Ashes game, so you played the last ODI in the Ashes series, was it Lisa that rang you, and how was it a couple of days before? Or?
I think it was the day before, the night before the Ashes game.
And how did you feel? Were you...
Oh my God, I was so shocked. I was like, what? Oh. Yeah, obviously I was very nervous, but yeah, I was absolutely buzzing. I was so excited as well. It was, yeah, all the emotions in one. But yeah, didn't perform how I wanted, but I think I've got that one out of the way now. So
I reckon that
hopefully,
happens to a lot of people, you know, especially batters. You make their debut and they go, oh no.
Yeah,
It can happen.
Well, that happened. Didn't go great, but yeah, hopefully if it happens again, you know, it should be fine. I'll be more relaxed. And
can I add something on that? I think opening the batting for England as well in a Ashes series where the batting was what let us down. Like, it was a really difficult thing for you to come in and do.
Yeah, true.
So, like, to perform at that level would have been incredible, but there was so much pressure on that spot anyway.
Yeah.
So that you almost, like, you couldn't have lost in that situation because no one was doing it well.
Yeah, there's nothing to lose.
Yeah,
exactly. In a win-win. So your first World Cup, Crossy, you've played cricket for England for a number of years. Lammy, your first World Cup, you've not played cricket for England for a number of years. You made your debut last summer, and you debuted, you know, during the Ashes, your ODI debut. I'm interested to know how your feelings were both different going into that World Cup, or if they were very similar.
For me, I didn't really have any expectations because obviously I'm not really been a part of the England team, so I kind of went in just wanting to enjoy it and just experience being part of the World Cup, and that was like such a big deal for me. So yeah, that's how I felt about it. I don't know about you.
I think I was opposite, really. I think I almost had too much expectation, and I think you take away like the label of the World Cup. I've been a big part of that England team for 2 years now, and I've had a real specific role in the team. So I think after the summer that I had last year, I went in thinking I could not dominate, but I could have a real impact for the team, and that probably didn't happen as much as I wanted it to. So I came away a little bit disappointed with how my World Cup went. I know I bowled well, but I probably didn't get the results. So
was it not you that was telling me that you had 10 drop catches? That changes
well,
things.
Mel Jones told me that. I honestly
really?
I wasn't counting. Well, I dropped 2 of them. So that's a great start. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I think it is hard to go into a World Cup with expectations though, because it's so day dependent, and it's so like different team, different ground. We did so much travelling, didn't we? We were literally non-stop on planes, and you literally saw a hotel room for 3 nights, and then you were moving on. So it was pretty relentless in that regard. But yeah, it was just, I guess, a shame that we did all that hard work and then didn't come away with anything to show for it.
You will look back and you'll be really proud of it, though.
One day, I'm not there yet.
Thanks for that, guys. We're now going to move forward and look at some Thunder stuff coming up, but until then, we're going to look at some scenes from behind the Thunder, where we've been training at Sale Cricket Club.
can't wait to just get playing now. It's been an incredible start to the pre-season campaign, going to Dubai, which was absolutely amazing. The girls are all lovely, really got on with everyone, and just can't wait to join them all on the field and start playing.
A lot of us are really good friends, aren't we? So it makes it a lot easier, and I think it's a really positive group to be around.
Yeah, I feel like everyone just really gets on one another, like through hard times and just like always making jokes. But yeah, it's really good, and just like everyone enjoys coming to training.
It's everything in sport. I think playing for one another, playing for your team, making sure you've got each other's back is what makes great teams. I think we've got that here at Thunder, and I think we're going to play some really exciting cricket this year.
I think it's really good because I think it shows when we're playing, like we really fight for each other, whereas maybe in the past where we've not had as much like team cohesion. Yeah, I feel like we all really enjoy playing together as well. It makes it so much easier on the pitch.
Yeah.
So that was us training at Sale CC, and you can see we've been gearing up, ready for the season ahead. I got to know the girls a little bit better with a game of Who Am I? Right, this is Who Am I. Jacko, can you guess the player they played in the FA Cup?
Oh, you got to go with Ellie with her football roots, haven't you?
Do I tell her the answer? You are wrong. It is Daisy Mullen. They think in another language.
Sachi Pie.
Correct! Sachi Pie. Next. Come on, stop. Can you guess this player? They're 15% Scandinavian, a little bit Norwegian, and a little bit Swedish, I think it was.
I'm going to go with Emma Lamb.
Correct!
Get it!
Next. They were stuck in Australia.
Crossing. Ellie. You. Lammy.
Danny Collins. Next. They have a tattoo of a stick man.
You?
Absolutely not!
Stick man. Marshy.
Correct. Laura Marshall. They complained to their parents that they'd never been on an aeroplane before, so they booked them a flight to Luton. Clue, you've played with her for a number of years.
I'm 45 years old. I've played with everyone for a number of years. You?
Laura Jackson.
Really?
Well, that was the rest of the squad. We're going to be getting to know Georgie Boyce a little bit better from around the ground. But firstly, Boycey, what's your interesting fact about yourself?
My interesting fact is I've been able to ride a motorbike since I was 4.
Talk me through that, how and why.
So I've got an older brother who's 3 years older than me, and for his Christmas present he got a motorbike, and he weren't allowed it just for him, so at 4 I got myself one as well.
Your brother got a motorbike at 7?
At 7 I was 4. And my first experience of it was crashing it into the trampoline.
That doesn't surprise me, Boycey. Should we go outside and get to know you a little bit better?
Absolutely.
So, Boycey, we've come for a lap around Emirates Old Trafford. It's got to be nice to be back, is it?
Oh, absolutely. It's buzzing to be back and to be training here, and can't wait to get playing here in the summer.
You've had a really, really good start to the Lancashire season. You've scored so many runs. What have you been working on this winter?
So this winter we've all been working really hard, but in particular we've been working with Stephen Parry on my batting and just going into the season with a lot of confidence, and hopefully you can take this into the fun stuff.
Well, you've definitely been playing really well. You went to Dubai on a pre-season tour. How was that for you and for the rest of the girls?
For me it was really good to get out of the indoor centre into some sunshine. Was really good, but also playing competitive cricket, and I think for the girls it was some of the first experience they've had abroad playing cricket, and we all absolutely loved it, and it's been beneficial for cricket, and we've taken that into the Lanc season and bring on the Thunder stuff.
Might be a silly question, but are you looking forward to the Thunder season?
Oh, absolutely. Can't get going. We've worked really hard. We've had a good pre-season with Lancs, and now we just want to hit the ground running and win that first game up against Vipers.
What are you looking to work on or achieve personally throughout this summer?
For me, if I can score some runs and help the team win games of cricket, that's ultimately all I want to do.
That's all I want you to do as well, Boycey. We play a record number of games here at Emirates Old Trafford. It's got to be a good thing moving forward for women's cricket.
Yeah, massive. If we can get on the big stage and put on some good performances, hopefully get some big crowds in and just promote women's cricket, it will only do a good thing for the game and for us.
And your favourite thing about playing here at Emirates Old Trafford?
Oh, it's got to be the wickets, hasn't it? Score some runs on them, don't we?
Got to be. Georgie, go and enjoy some lunch. Thank you very much.
And the world
well, that has been the first episode of the Thunder Show. We're dusted. I've had some amazing guests. I want to see what you guys have been up to. Have you been playing cricket in your back garden? Have you been playing at your local club? Please get in touch with us at Thunder Crick on Instagram and Twitter. And I want to know what you've been doing. I'll be back next month. I hope you will be too.
Please join us in a moment of reflection as we remember.
Hello everybody and welcome to Sale Cricket Club for Thunder versus Northern Diamonds in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, a 20 over a side competition, and we're just going to have a moment's reflection for those that we have lost during the pandemic.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody for joining us. My name is Mike Perkins. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we were last here bringing you a game from the Thunder. As I say, we're at Sale Cricket Club this afternoon. Alongside me is Faith Florence. I'm delighted to say. The first thing to tell you, though, at home is it's absolutely roasting out here on the balcony. We don't quite have the Wizards and Newts that we had last time we were here at Sale when the Test match had been cancelled and many headed down. But there's a modest crowd in here for this Wednesday fixture in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. 20 over a side competition. In the opening match of it, Thunder lost to Southern Vipers down on the south coast by 8 wickets. Diamonds won their first game by 39 runs against Lightning, and they picked up a bonus point in the process. So Vipers and Diamonds are top of the table, and Thunder and Lightning are looking for their first win of the competition. News from the toss is that Thunder will be batting. They won that toss and made that decision, and you'll see the Diamonds players taking their place on the field. The sides read like this. One change for Thunder. Laura Marshall comes in for Kate Cross, who has been picked for Velocity to play in the IPL T20 Challenge. So Thunder line up with Emma Lamb, Georgie Boyce, Danielle Collins, Ellie Threlkels, Sachi Pai, Laura Marshall, Laura Jackson, Phoebe Graham, Sophia Turner, Hannah Jones and Alex Hartley. And as for Diamonds, they bring in Bess Heath and Nat Siver, the England all-rounder. So they have Bess Heath, Lauren Winfield Hill, Nat Siver, Abby Glenn, Holly Armitage, Lee Kasperick, Beth Langston, Lindsay Smith, Rachel Slater, Emma Marlowe and Katie Levick. So a strong Diamond side there, it's fair to say. What do you make of the team news, Faith?
Yeah, so obviously two very strong squads. I mean, I think on paper, Diamonds would probably be the fancied team. Those international names stand out straight away. Lauren Winfield Hill, Nat Siver, Lee Kasperick. But I think the Thunder squad have probably been together a little bit longer, so they might have that advantage, just having that slight bit more cohesion. They're a young team, and they've got a couple of experienced heads in there as well, in Phoebe Graham and Alex Hartley, and obviously their new captain, Ellie Threlkeld.
We're ready to get underway with Emma Marlowe bowling the ball that is squeezed away into the leg side. Nat Siver with the fielding, and we've just been informed of a late change. Phoebe Turner is coming into the side in place of Beth Langston, who has been injured in the warm-up. So a very late change there from the Diamonds. They'll certainly be missing Langston's bowling. She looked in good form the other day at Hazelgrave, so it will be a replacement there late on. Turner did play though in that game, so it doesn't affect the number of changes from the Diamonds. 1 without loss the score after the first ball, and that will become 2 without loss as another ball is pushed into the leg side of the back foot, this time by Georgie Boyce. Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce opening the batting, both 1 to each of the batters' names, and just settling into their work on what's a light coloured pitch but with a tinge of green to it, as Marlowe comes into bowl, right arm over again. Threlkeld is down the Heath rather is down the leg side for Diamonds and prevents any more than a wide being added to the score. 3 without loss as the wind rattles across the balcony here at Sale. This time it will be an extra run taken as well as you imagine. Oh, there was a little bit of a flick of pad, so it won't be a wide on that occasion. 4 without loss, scoring off every ball here, Faith, which is a good sign to see early on.
Oh, absolutely. About a week ago in the semi-final.
Here comes Marlowe again to bowl a ball that's flicked away by Boyce, and he's held a backward square leg. No run.
In the semi-final of the County Cup, these two put on a really good show, and I don't think there was a wicket taken in that game, so they're quite settled together.
Here's Boyce waiting for the next delivery from Marlowe, pushes it onside of straight, more straightish mid-wicket it ended up in the end. Tumbling stop by Siver preventing the run. And Marlowe back to the end of her mark. Couple of paces in and delivers once more, starting to get that line, although still outside the leg stump there, and Boyce may feel she missed out on a boundary from the last ball of the over. 4 without loss at the end of the first over of the innings. Lamb and Boyce starting well, Faith Florence.
Excellent, yes, that's what we like to see. Obviously winning the toss and going into bat first. It's a bold move, I like it. That's what they chose to do at Hove last week as well. They had really good power play. Things sadly went south after that, but I think this is the right idea.
Kingston Drive end,
try and punch first
Slater.
and put a score on the board, and hopefully a good score this game that they can defend.
And as you will have heard there, Rachel Slater coming on from the Kingston Drive end of the ground here at Sale Cricket Club. A delightful setting, the green hedgerows neatly cut away to our right hand side, some tall trees away in the distance between us and the houses at that Kingston Drive end of the ground, and Emma Lamb settling over her bat. Slater with the ball in hand, trying to disturb the blue stumps, and she delivers in a dark blue Diamonds kit wide of the off stump, and that's again slightly sloppy from the Diamonds. 5 without loss the score moves on to with the extra. You mentioned that finals day there, Faith Florence. There's always a feel of a Roses game around Thunder versus Northern Diamonds, even if the likes of Cumbria and Cheshire are brought in on the Thunder side, as this one's cut by Lamb, and it's snuck through just below the diving attempt by Lindsay Smith at backward point, and it will roll all the way towards the rope, and I think it's just been pulled in inside that rope. The throw comes in, and there will just be the 3 runs added to the total, so 8 without loss, and obviously Diamonds bring in the likes of Northumberland and Durham into their team. I suppose it will probably make most difference to the Diamonds side, as they're the ones who sort of seem to gain players from that, whereas most of the Thunder team I think played on that finals day. We'll get your thoughts on it after this delivery from Slater, as it's punched fairly firmly by Boyce with a flourish of the bat, but no run on offer on that occasion.
That's right, Mike. I mean, obviously Diamonds have got some players coming in who will really enhance their team there. There was, as I said, the advantage that perhaps Thunder have is that they have played together quite a lot in pre-season. Most of these players will know each other quite well.
Here's Slater bowling to Boyce again. It was a big swing of the bat, and it's going to be a tight single. There's an appeal, and the bat was just down in the crease at the non-striker's end in time, and 1 will be added to the total. But with Nat Siver fielding there at mid-wicket, that was the tightest of tight singles, Faith Florence. I was worried for a second.
That was a close one. I have a thing about people not sliding their bats. You've got to slide your bat.
In comes Slater once more. Left arm over the wicket. It's short of a length this time, and Lamb, I think, will feel she missed out a bit there. Just didn't quite get onto it as early as she would have liked, and played it out into the cover point region. 2 fielders converged. Kasperick, the New Zealand international, one of them. 85 games for New Zealand. Scotland born though, and has played for Diamonds in the KSL, as in comes Slater to bowl to Lamb, who forces this one down the offside of the pitch. It takes a horrible little bounce in front of Marlowe, and that one's going to skip away past her and up towards the boundary. 2 taken by Thunder, 2 bonus runs really. Takes them on to 11 without loss.
It's quite a wavy sort of surface out there. It's not a completely flat outfield, is it? So the ball looks like it's racing away towards the boundary, and then suddenly it's got a bit of a hill to climb up. So they'll have to run hard. Possibly
what caught Marlowe out there as well. It popped up horribly in front of her. She was down in exactly the position you'd expect to be, but nearly got hit in the face for her troubles as it popped up over her shoulder. Here's Slater from that Kingston Drive end of Sale Cricket Club, bowling short of a length and worked away by Lamb. Made a good connection with it, but will only pick up 1 as round comes Turner to do the fielding at long leg, making her way from fine leg. What are you making of those opening 2 overs then, Faith Florence, who has joined us here on Lancs TV?
Well, Georgie Boyce and Emma Lamb will know this ground really well, and they do look really relaxed. It's really good to see them get off the mark. Both seem to be striking the ball well. No boundaries as yet, but almost. So I think things are looking quite good and nicely settled for the Thunder.
They'll be happy with the start, Thunder, won't they? 5 without loss, I think it was, after the first, and then 12 without loss at the end of the second over. So they've been accumulating well. As you say quite rightly though, Faith, it's a boundary they'll want to add to their tally here. Lindsay Smith coming on to bowl left arm around the wicket, and she tweaks one that's hit right over the top, and that's going to go away for that first boundary of the Thunder innings. 4 runs added to the total. It was as perfect a straight drive as you could hope to see it. Tweaks one that's hit right over the top, and that's going to go away for that first boundary of the Thunder innings. 4 runs.
Right on cue. We were just saying they're looking settled, they're looking comfortable. This is their home ground. I think it is right time to start accelerating, and away they go.
And Lamb had clearly done her research on Lindsay Smith, clearly had perhaps come across her around the England setup. Of course, these two have both been involved in that in recent times, and she didn't feel much of a need to have a look there. The fielders were up at mid-off and mid-on, and it was hit right over them and back towards the Dane Road end of the ground and the tennis courts over away to our right.
I think they've lost the ball now even, and that's the kind of bold aggression that we want to see from Emma Lamb, really taking it to the bowler, taking it to the new bowler, and taking it to the fielders.
Of course, we know in this day and age, though, it's got to be sustained, hasn't it, for a period of time. But 16 without loss is a good start for Thunder, as the 2 fielders are at mid-off and mid-on. Crouch again, of course, we're in a power play, so they can't have any more than 2 outside the ring. Lamb's attempt to cut there just went down into the pitch and didn't produce a run. Plenty on the picnic benches away to our right-hand side. A few have brought their own chairs with them as well, and they're enjoying watching on as Smith bowls, and this one is defended by Lamb. That was a better ball by Smith, kept Lamb honest.
Oh, it's an absolute beaut of a day here. Sun is shining, spectators just look so chilled and comfortable, and having a bit of midweek cricket.
You wouldn't know it. There's a bit of bubbling of cloud, but it doesn't feel like it. It's very, very warm up here on the balcony as that one's cut away to Slater at backward point, who does the fielding well, and Bess Heath behind the stumps is able to take the ball and ensure that no more is added to that total of 16 without a wicket. Here comes Smith, short of a length, punched up towards Winfield Hill. Siver made a move at mid-wicket just to put the batters off any thought of a single, and it wasn't on offer. So scoreless from that delivery, and what can be produced this time from Lamb, who started the over so well, and she's going to finish it well as well. That's a great shot out towards the backward square leg boundary, but there's an excellent piece of fielding by Lee Casper. You'll see the Diamonds players' hands going above heads and coming together in applause, and that was because that was a fantastic bit of fielding out there on the backward square leg boundary. 18 then without loss the score at the end of the 3rd over. We're halfway through the opening power play of this game, and they're going along at 1 a ball, so they're almost back in the same situation they were at the end of the second over, in that you just feel they need a boundary again.
Yes, and actually so far it's very reminiscent of that game down at Hove on the weekend, where they started slowly and then accelerated a little bit, and the power play was going, I think, in Thunder's favour. So I don't mind this timing too much.
Yeah, 1 a ball is it's sort of about the starting point you want to be at, as Boyce forces this one away, leg side, and we'll keep that total ticking along at 1 a ball with another single. 19 without loss.
There has been some good fielding from the Diamonds, to be fair. We might have had a few more boundaries.
Boyce has 3, she's at the non-strikers. Lamb on strike now with 13, as this one is bowled and squeezed away into the offside. Diamonds rotating their bowlers every over, but this is Marlowe now from the Kingston drive end, having begun from the Dane Road end. So a second over of the innings. It's short to Lamb, who thought she was going to stick that one high into the skies, but it just didn't get to her quite at the time she would have liked, and she had to just dab it behind square for a 1 into the leg side. 20 without loss, Lamb on to 14. Katie Levitt crouches in front of us as she makes her way in on the 45, and Boyce claps that one on the drive out to Armitage at short extra cover, and it's a dot ball. Levitt, of course, the highest wicket taker in the county T20 with 69 to her name, as this one's swept by Boyce, who thought there would be a single on offer, but Levitt was there and returned it to Bess Heath. Thanks to Hypercourse for that particular bit of information on Katie Levitt's wickets. 69 of them in total in the county T20, and she'll be looking to add some regional ones today, as this one's clapped away by Boyce off the back foot. She was able to get back in the crease and make herself some room to Marlowe, but Marlowe will be happy with that over. 21 without loss, the score at the end of it, and the Thunder just needing a big couple of overs perhaps just to really make the most of these fielding restrictions. We saw Lamb do it in the previous over from this Dane Road end.
I agree. I mean, facing spin from both ends, and it's just slowed things down a little bit for the Thunder, so they're going to have to find a way to break through and put that pressure back on the bowlers.
It looks as if it'll be another change, continuing to ring these changes. Slater into the attack. We've got a short third, a backward point, a cover, an extra cover, and a mid-off. So a packed offside as Boyce waits and drives down the ground. Powerfully enough for a single, you would think, but if it had been a direct hit, it would have been all over for Georgie Boyce's innings. Perhaps a little hesitant in setting off. The single certainly looked to be there, but it took a little bit of time for Boyce to get to the non-strikers. 22 without loss. It brought a gasp from you there, Faith Florence.
It did. First slightly sort of nervy moment from the Thunder batters there.
Thunder versus Northern Diamonds in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. 20 overs aside. You're with Mike Perkins and Faith Florence, and you're with Emma Lamb cutting into the offside there and picking up at least 1, and she's going to look for 2, and a slip helps her cause and allows her to get back. 24 without loss.
There was another little moment of hesitation before the batters took the run there, and I hope they're keeping their concentration up, because it was a few lapses in concentration, I think, in the game last weekend that let them down a bit.
Thunder's first home game of the competition. We'll bringing you them all on Lancs TV, as this one is blocked between the legs of Lamb, and she settles for a dot ball on that occasion. Well bowled ball by Slater. As I say, Diamonds were in dominant form against Lightning the other day. Lauren Winfield-Hill, the standout performer, with 96 from just 51 deliveries, as it's bowled and Lamb was looking airily into the leg side but didn't connect. It was all pads. The ball had clearly pitched outside leg, and she felt obliged to take it on, but really didn't end well.
She wants to go here, Emma Lamb.
Not one to be tied down is Lamb. 218 runs in this competition in 2021, including the highest score of 111 in that victory over Sunrisers. Another 237 in the Rachel Hayo Flint Trophy, and she's going to benefit from 5 wides here. No chance for Heath, stood up to the stumps. We said the last one was outside leg, and that's why Lamb took it on. Well, that was outside leg as well, and runs away and takes the total on to 29 without loss. So some real bonus runs there for Thunder. Lamb scrapes at the ground and surveys a fine scene here at Sale Cricket Club. The grass neatly cut short, the sunshine in fine order. Lamb's gone right across the stumps, and Heath has worn that one, but worn it bravely because Lamb completely obscured her view until the last minute. So she's done quite well to prevent any damage other than to her shoulder or wherever that ended up catching her. Here's Slater, back of the run. A couple of birds tweet in the background as she makes her way in and delivers onto the legs of Lamb. She's hit that a bit well, if anything, and has to dive back into her ground. She clipped that and thought, yes please, 1 run, and then Boyce was looking at her like, not so sure about that. 29 without loss at the end of the 5th over. Thunder continuing to tick over at around about 1 a ball here, but as we said, so the big shots, other than the Lamb drive down the ground, just haven't come off at this stage.
No, and it's always an interesting tactic when the fielding team changes the bowler so often, particularly early on in the game. And it can serve to sort of break the rhythm of the batters and unsettle them a little bit. That technique might just be working.
Bowling coming on at the Kingston Drive end. Lindsay
Boyce looks forward, and we'll see Lindsay Smith, the 6th change of bowling, although it's her 2nd over as well. So they've clearly decided we're going to have 3 power play bowlers and use them all 2 overs each, but not consecutively, as this one is pushed away into the onside, and it is between Siver and Turner. 1 run taken, 30 without loss is the score. Real shame then for Diamonds to lose Beth Langston, who was a good performer the other day in this competition for them. As in comes Smith again, round the wicket. Lamb cuts and cuts hard, but again is unable to take any runs for it.
Yeah, there wasn't a single there, but it is really important that when there are singles or 2s to be had, that they run really hard. I feel like they left a few behind in Hove on the weekend.
Here's Smith, bowling it full. It was dipped awkwardly for Lamb at the last moment, and she still struck it well, but couldn't beat the dive at mid-off of Marlowe, and 1 more goes on to the total. 31 without loss. Smith comes into bowl. Heath crouches behind the stumps, and Boyce is cutting through the offside brilliantly to the extra cover boundary for 4 runs. Much needed 4 runs for Thunder. They've been ticking along nicely at 1 a ball, but that just takes them past that, up to 35 without loss, and Boyce moves on to 10, into double figures. Best shot of the day probably. Obviously the Lamb drive as well, but certainly for Boyce that was her most definitive connection with the ball, as she comes down the ground again and will hit this one well, and looked as if she might be picking up another 4 for a second, but Kasparik has already stuck 5 in a bank of runs saved, because she saved a couple on the boundary at backward square leg, and I think she probably saved 3 there at cover. Smith motions and wants Levick at backward square leg.
Georgie Boyce was striking the ball so well during the County Cup, so it's really good to see her playing shots like that.
In comes Smith, and Lamb goes for the reverse sweep. Heath again having to be on her toes to prevent any buys being allowed, and she does so. 36 without loss then at the end of the 6th over, so fielders will be able to spread themselves a little more now, and Lamb and Boyce will be contemplating what they can do just to accelerate the rate. Every time they seem to get that boundary, then they get pegged back by the Diamonds. It's very even Stevens at the moment.
It is, and it's good that they haven't lost a wicket. They're both still there at the crease, so I think they're going along pretty nicely.
Mentioned, as we say, that Langston, who took 22 for 2 the other day at Hazelgrave, not injured in the warm-up, was originally picked. This is Levick into the attack as she bowls, and it's cut firmly to Lindsay Smith. She does the fielding at backward point. No run on offer.
They will miss Beth Langston. She's an amazing bowler. But one Nat Siver is out in the field as well.
Katie Levick's a pretty amazing bowler herself too, as we mentioned in the county T20 competition. She's the highest wicket taker with 69. Has another 120 in the county one-day competition, which preceded the restructure and the regional sides coming in. This one swept just behind square on the leg side. It was sort of almost felt glovey, and it wasn't even glove. It was off the body in the end from Boyce, so a leg bye signalled. 37 without loss. Field moves again as in comes the cover fielder into the ring. We've got extra cover and backward point still. Long off and long on are out. We've also got backward square leg and deep mid wickets, and Lamb takes advantage of no fielders in front of square in the ring on the leg side just to dab at one. 38 without loss. You're watching Lancs TV. We'll be with you for all of Thunder's home fixtures in the regional competition. My name's Mike Perkins. Faith Florence alongside me as this is bowled by Levick. It's hit down the ground. It's going to be a chase on for that long off and long on fielders, and neither of them get there. 4 runs to the total. Lovely shot coming down the track by Georgie Boyce.
She perfectly split the fielders there. Shot.
Ball goes on to Boyce has 15 of them, and on 2 occasions we've seen the ball end up going underneath the sight screen at the Dane Road end of the ground. Boyce has gone again. She hasn't got all of this, but she's got enough to take it out the ring and away from Armitage at extra cover, who will throw back to the wicket keeper. Big old field here at Sale. It's not the biggest sort of club ground you'll ever see, but it's sort of a big enough field for 2s to be taken, and we're seeing that on regular occasions. 44 without loss with those couple of runs to end that, the 7th over of the innings. That was a little bit more like it from Thunder, and they've got those wickets in hand, which of course is always crucial.
Indeed, and now that they're through the power play, hopefully they're signalling their intention with that last over that they're really going to step it up now, run those 2s. There was definite 2 there, but again there was a little bit of hesitation before they went for the second one. So they've really got to keep that focus and concentration and don't leave any runs behind on this large field.
Now this is going to be Kasperick to come on, who, as we mentioned, 85 games for New Zealand, 140 wickets. That's across all formats.
I'm excited to see Lee Kasperick. I think many of us were quite surprised not to see her bowling for New Zealand in the World Cup.
In she comes now with Lamb waiting. Just back into a crease slightly and then hits that one high and away into the offside. Through the gap at extra cover. 4 runs, 48 without loss. Lamb moves to 22 and Thunder approaching the 50 mark in some style.
Yes, we know what a clever bowler Lee Kasperick is, so to put pressure on her straight away, it's definitely the right move there from Emma Lamb.
It's almost as if she saw Lamb going back, tried to chuck it up and got it a little bit wrong, and Lamb took full advantage. What will she do this ball? It's into the offside. There's a single on offer because cover's back on the fence, and Lamb, as good bad as should, hits her boundary and takes her 1. Very good T20 cricket. 49 without loss, the Thunder scorers. Boyce assesses her options. Long off goes back to join long on the rope. It's a black rope here, which is quite useful for when you've got a white ball, because it does make it very distinctive when it pops up over it. Blue stumps. And Boyce waits. Works. Now, was that a chance? I think it was just short of Turner, but there was a shout of catch it. There was no great disappointment, which implied to me that it perhaps didn't get there, but it looked as if it was going to.
It did. I'm not sure it quite carried.
We're a good way behind on our replay screen and battling against the sun slightly, but we'll keep an eye on that. In fact, I might ask Faith to keep an eye on that and give us her assessment of whether that one did in fact carry, as this one will be bowled by Kasparik to Boyce, who pushes down the ground. Lamb's back into her ground though. 49 without loss. It remains with that dot ball.
No, it didn't quite carry, so it wasn't quite a chance.
Certainly the thing that gave it away for me was there was no throwing of caps on the ground or kicking of turf, which there usually is when it's a drop. As in comes Kasparik, bowls to Boyce, who didn't quite get to the pitch despite advancing down the pitch, but it brings up the Thunder 50, and that's what the ripple of applause from the players below us here at Sale Cricket Club will have told you. 50 without loss, a very good start from Thunder. They'll want to accelerate the run rate, but they'll be happy to bring that up in the 8th over of this innings. Kasparik just motioning to Turner. Slightly unusual fielding change, given it was nearly a catch there during the over, but she wants a fielder at short third, which I think gives Lamb a fairly good indication of where she's going to try and bowl this one. As she comes down the ground and hits that one high away, and will it be 6? Yes, it will. 6 runs for Emma Lamb. Beautiful shot, smashing the ball down the ground, and we said she was getting a fairly good clue of the line and the length of that one, and she took full advantage down the track, gave herself a little bit of room, threw the arms through it, and got plenty of it. It actually sort of dipped off. I don't know if maybe that slight little breeze, which was just cooling us down, caught it as it was threatening to go into the gardens at one point, and then ended up dropping just over the boundary, but just enough. 56 without loss at the end of the 8th over, and an emphatic way to finish it.
Oh, that was excellent. Really, really delightful to watch that 6. And Thunder really motoring along now.
As the batters confer in the middle.
Change of ball in from the Dane Road and Abigail Glenn.
We'll see Abby Glenn coming on to bowl from this Dane Road end. Spectators watching on from the benches and the deck chairs. It's a full toss, it's a poor start, but the fielder has been picked out on the mid-wicket boundary, quite a straight mid-wicket boundary if we're honest. It's Nat Siver, who of course was a big part of that World Cup that Kasparik wasn't part of. 436 runs she scored, including 148 not out against Australia in the final, and 109 not out against Australia earlier in the tournament. Glenn again. Short, and this one's heaved away, and this one will be 6 runs again. Brilliant shot. Took us a moment to check it was just going to clear the rope there, but it so often seems to off the bat of Emma Lamb. She's really started to motor now. Takes the score up to 63, and Lamb has 35 of them.
That was a fabulous shot.
Just sat up hip high. Kasparik, who's back there, be wishing she had a few yards more. Lamb again backing up the boundary with a single here. Might even look for 2. Boyce doesn't fancy it though and sends Lamb back, but good industrious play from the Thunder batters. 64 without loss, and this is a very fine opening stand, but no surprise to you, Faith Florence, as someone who's been watching the county T20. In comes Glenn again. Bowls, and this one's hit hard. It's going to be a test for Winfield Hill up at long on, but a test that she is equal to, and the throw is returned.
No, no surprise at all. I mean, these two, when they get going, bat so well together, Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce. It's one of the things that makes this Thunder squad so strong, is that partnership at the top.
Here is Glenn bowling to Lamb, who, well, I was wondering if there was going to be an effort to get under that ball. I think because of the nature of the scoop shot, it perhaps wasn't picked up, but Levick in the end just letting it drop short of her. Another one added to the total, as there was from the previous delivery. That takes the score on to 66 without loss. It brings Lamb back onto strike, which is going to be dangerous for Abby Glenn, you imagine. Ball in her right hand as she paces in towards the stumps and bowls. This one's forced away. It's a good bit of fielding by Winfield Hill at short extra cover.
Yeah, I thought there might be an attempt at a diving catch there from Katie Levick, but obviously the ball might have been a little bit further away than it looked.
It can be deceptive from our view up here on the balcony, sort of with our feet up, relaxing in the sunshine, of just quite how it was. Just the fact it was in the air for quite a while. It just felt like surely there should be somebody should be getting under this, but Levick just couldn't quite get there. But in fairness to her, we've been saying throughout, she's a top performer with ball in hand certainly, and has been a huge part of both Yorkshire and Northern Diamonds, representing them in the KSL as well as this. And she's on to bowl now as Lamb tries to cut but misses, and the score remains 66 without loss as we're into the 10th over of the game here at Sale Cricket Club. The innings flying by as we the first appearance seeing Alex Hartley down below, just loosening up the throwing arm as this one is played away into the leg side for one. 67 without loss the score moves on to. Boyce comes on to strike. As far as Thunder are concerned, they just want these two to go as long as they can here, Faith Florence.
Absolutely, you know, and they can. We saw them both score 50s in that semi-final in the County Cup, and Georgie Boyce, I think, went on to score another 50 in the final.
As Levick bowls, and Boyce is going to drive this one away into the onside, but no run on offer. 67 without loss it remains. As Boyce will come down the track and push this one up the onside of the wicket, and there will be a single taken. 68 without loss the score moves on to. Mike Perkins and Faith Florence with you on Lancs TV. Also say, I'm told Rob Egan is watching, so a birthday next Friday on the 27th of May, as this one is reverse swept by Lamb, but it doesn't produce any contact. Best wishes from your big brother John, who is here scoring this game, so a happy birthday for next Friday to Rob Egan. As in comes Katie Levick and bowls. This one's turned away into the leg side, and there will be just the one run on off. 69 without loss. Levick, a canny bowler as we were saying, and I think just trying to hold Thunder where they were in that over really, and just ensure they didn't get away, having had a very good over of 10 in the 9th.
Well, you can always tell though when Emma Lamb's feeling quite confident when she's getting that reverse sweep out every over.
Going at sevens here, and with wickets in hand, it looks as if this is a decent track to bat on, and Thunder will need to make the most of it here. They're going along nicely at this stage. They'll be happy with this start. Halfway point of their innings. Continuing to ring the changes here, Northern Diamonds. Slater on now.
Indeed, I wonder if this was always the plan, or if they're responding to this good start from Thunder.
I guess Glenn's previous over meant she was probably unlikely to continue, as Lamb has hit this one from Slater. Doesn't matter who's bowling at her. 4 more runs through extra cover. Nice shot, gave herself a little bit of room and used it well. 73 without loss. Lamb's just got that look about her at the moment, hasn't she? I know Lancashire and Thunder fans at home will be touching wood and all sorts, but it's that sort of, she's just in that kind of mood at the moment where she seems to be starting to accelerate that innings. Of course, it has to keep going as Slater will try and stop her with a left arm around the wicket delivery. It's chipped up dangerously. One on offer. Turner, who's come into the side late on for Langston here, does the fielding, doesn't prevent the single. 74 without loss, and I'm on a crusade to say the commentator's curse isn't a thing, but
I definitely don't believe in it, and every time I hear it I just think no.
Here's once again another fielding change. Turner going back, Slater to pace up towards the crease and deliver left arm around the wicket. It cramped Boyce for room, but she forced it hard into the leg side, but all the fielders back on the boundary. Siver with the return on the bounce, another one to the total. 75 without loss, so going at the best part of sevens for the first 10 overs of the innings, and they'll want to keep it at that and above, knowing of course that Winfield Hill and Siver are likely to come out and give this chase a real good go, whatever it is. In comes Slater again. Awkward looking drive this time from Lamb. Picks up one. Siver is quickly in and prevents two. 76 without loss, but the board just ticking here.
It is, it's ticking along nicely, and Georgie Boyce and Emma Lamb, you know, they're moving their feet, they're watching the ball closely.
Whirring, maybe more accurate description for the orange figures on the black background over there, as this one is bowled and it's hit down the ground on the offside. It was one of those sort of clapping strokes. It almost made a clap off the bat as Boyce hit it. 77 without loss is the total now for Thunder. Lamb assesses things. The birds tweeting in the background. A rather gusty breeze comes across our position on the balcony, although it's welcome on a warm day like this. Lamb has hit that hard. It bounces once into the hands of Siver. She hit it well, but Slater, I think, felt she was going to be in with a chance. It was airborne for a little while there, Faith Florence.
It was, but Nat Siver out in the deep was a little bit closer to the boundary, and so Emma Lamb was lucky to get away with that one there, really.
But we've seen that the boundaries from Lamb, the 6 down the ground, the 6 over backwards square leg. It was also a very nice drive early on in this innings. She's looking in imperious form, 46 runs to her name, and she'll be wanting to add another 50 in this competition after, as we say, scoring 111, the highest score of it in the inaugural edition. Of course, Northern Diamonds been finalists in all 3 of the regional finals that we've had, but without winning one yet. So the task is clear from their point of view. There's only one place they can go, really, and that's to try and win this competition this year. 2 of them will offer, of course, a 20-over competition and a 50-over competition, the Rachel Hayo Flint Trophy, which started this regional format off, as this one is floated up and hit away off the bat of Lamb for 1, and Kasperick will contemplate how Diamonds can get their first wicket here. 79 without loss. An encouraging start for Thunder, a platform to build from potentially here on what looks a good track at Sale Cricket Club. Will have been one they've been preparing and trying to ensure is the best it can be. A big occasion for clubs in the outgrounds to host teams like Thunder, and Lancashire as well, of course, as this one's pushed down the ground by Georgie Boyce, but no run taken on that occasion. Boyce just settles again. Waits for Kasperick, who bowls short of a length, and Boyce has hit this nicely, but the long on fielder is round. A slight fumble will allow a second to be taken. Out in the maybe slightly thicker grass over there. 81 without loss. The score moves on to, and Boyce kind of needed that in a way just to make up for not getting the extra run from the previous ball. Mike Perkins and Faith Florence with you here on Lancs TV. As Boyce comes down the track and hits it nicely down the ground and away for 4 runs. 85 without loss, the score moves on to. Boyce is on to 29, and these two are doing everything right at the moment from a Thunder perspective.
They've really found their rhythm, haven't they? Batting together. Boyce is being patient when Emma Lamb's gone, but every now and then getting her boundaries in as well. And this is exactly how we like to see the Thunder opening partnership operating.
Boyce settles once more and waits as this one is hit down the ground. It's going to be another single on offer to Boyce, so backing up the boundary. 86 without loss. 12th over of the Thunder innings. Still Diamond searching for a wicket, which has not been forthcoming so far. Here is Kasper bowling. It's clipped by Lamb firmly, a little too firmly in some senses, in that I didn't think it was going to allow him to, but it did. 88 for no loss. And it was the firmness of the shot that put the pressure on the fielder in the end and allowed Boyce to take her total on to 30. Very, very good from the Thunder so far. Their opening pair doing exactly what's needed of them.
Absolutely, a really good, encouraging start from the Thunder here. I mentioned at the beginning that perhaps the Diamond squad haven't had as much time, with quite a few new players in to gel together, as well as Thunder has, with most of their players playing for Lancashire, and they've had a really good pre-season. They've had plenty of time to bond in that pre-season tour to Dubai, and so I think what we'll be seeing from Thunder is just that cohesion, that togetherness. The squad really know what they're after, what they're about, and ready to play for each other right from the off.
Glenn's come on from the Dane Road end of the ground and is hit firmly into the onside. Siver watches it all the way into those two hands and returns on the bounce. 89 without loss. So Glenn took a bit of stick going for 10 in the over, and then they switched it round to Slater, have decided that didn't work, and they're back with Glenn now. Back with Lamb on strike, who made 100 and 150 in games that she managed to squeeze in around international commitments last season. She was away with the England squad for portions of this tournament, and she's added another 50 there. Single into the offside, nicely cut stroke, just waves her bat to those applauding, be it in the benches and the deck chairs away on the boundary and the leg side, or her teammates down below us here at Sale Cricket Club in the pavilion. Really nice innings.
Yeah, that's what I love to see when I go to watch Thunder. Emma Lamb scoring 50s.
Here's Boyce waiting. She has 31 to her name and hits this well, and this one should go all the way. Round comes the field. It was a good effort by Turner. She had a lot of ground to cover, but having got there, perhaps would have felt she should have stopped it. 4 more to Georgie Boyce, who's trying to follow in Lamb's footsteps here, Faith Florence.
Absolutely. I mean, it was struck firmly. Really good timing. Fielder nearly got her hand to it. Well, she did get a hand to it actually, but just couldn't stop it. I think there was a bit of a spin on the bounce there as well.
Little bit of trepidation, I think, this morning around the fact that Siver and Winfield Hill were both in this Diamond side, 2 players with international experience and international quality, but it's Emma Lamb who has the international experience, and Georgie Boyce as well for Thunder, who's moved on to 36 with that single into the leg side, who are the first to have a go with the bat and proving what they can do. In comes Glenn, bowls, this one's gone uppish now. Siver is going to try and get underneath it, and she takes a fantastic tumbling catch and throws the ball in the air in celebration. What a catch that was from Nat Siver. It brings to an end an innings of 50 by Emma Lamb, who walks from the crease, disappointed no doubt not to continue on with that innings, but she went for the big shot into the leg side. It was the right thing to do, but it was a top edge, and Siver took full advantage. Lamb out for 50.
She did, and you know, Nat Siver, that's the kind of thing we see her do day in, day out for England.
Applause here for Lamb's contribution. Collins will be the new batter.
It was an excellent 50 there from Emma Lamb, and unfortunately it's going for that big shot. It was none other than Nat Siver out in the outfield ready to catch that. Got an absolute specky, and Emma Lamb has had to go out now, and in comes Danielle Collins, and who's a pretty handy replacement actually, coming in at third. I know she scored a lot of runs in Dubai. I watched their pre-season tournament out there against the Dubai team, and so she's definitely got some form that she can bring into this game now.
Well, it's certainly a promotion up the order, isn't it, for Collins this season?
And perhaps rewarded for all those runs that she has been scoring in the pre-season. So she's got got a really good platform to build that has been set for her. So hopefully she can come in, relax, play her shots, and just keep taking Thunder further along this ride. They're going really well. It's a shame that to get Emma Lamb out just when she'd got her 50. I was hoping she could kick on to another 100 like we saw last year, but not to be today.
And we've just got the analysis of that innings. 41 balls, 3 fours and 2 sixes for Emma Lamb in her 50 as Collins, the left-hander, pushes her first ball from Glenn up the offside of the pitch. Armitage does the fielding. 95 for 1 will be the score at the end of the 13th over. So as we say, Lamb making 50 on the dot off 41 balls, 3 fours, 2 sixes in 44 minutes, a strike rate of 121.95 before she was caught by Nat Siver off the bowling of Abby Glenn. And credit to Abby Glenn there, because her first over was a double figures one, so she came back well, getting Lamb out.
Indeed, and Diamonds will be really pleased to have finally broken that partnership and got that crucial wicket. But hopefully these two can settle in. We've got a left-hand, right-hand combination now here batting, so that should continue to put a little bit of pressure on the bowlers and not make life any easier for them.
Here's Marlowe then. What will she produce for, well, not a great ball to start with. It's been cut away by Georgie Boyce and it'll trickle away to the offside boundary just behind square and takes Thunder on to 99. Boyce is on to 40. It's vital she keeps going now that Lamb is out.
Absolutely, this is her chance now to accelerate. It's time for her to step up and start scoring those boundaries that might be missing from Emma Lamb.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? You always talk about not losing wickets, or wickets in clusters, as Boyce plays this one into the offside. There's a misfield, which meant they thought about 2, but it wasn't on off. It brings up the Thunder 100 nonetheless, off the bat of Georgie Boyce, who has 41 of them. Emma Lamb has made 50. Danielle Collins has just come to the crease. But there's just not that time in T20. You just have to, if your partner gets out, you have to, as you say there, Faith Florence, you just have to pick up and keep going.
That's right. And it's really good to see Thunder getting to 100. And 14th over is that? 13th over. And of course 102 was the score against the Vipers on the weekend, so already a much better game for the Thunder so far.
Yeah, they've played very nicely the opening pair, and now they need Collins to come in and keep things moving. Doesn't get off the mark there as she drives down the onside of the wicket. Little bit of a rip of the ball then from Marlowe, and again keeps Collins honest and without a score against her name on the board. Taps hard at the ground. Looks a good pitch, this one, for batting, and certainly Boyce and Lamb have made it look so. Collins this time manages to play the ball away from a fielder and pick up her first run. Slater doing the fielding at mid-wicket. 101 for 1 the score. Collins will be feeling better after that. You always do after your first
Indeed,
one,
yeah, that'll feel good to get off the mark and start contributing to this good score.
It's nicely set up, the Charlotte Edwards Cup today. We've got this game starting at 1:30 as Marlowe comes in and bowls. Boyce pulling it away behind square on the leg side. Round comes Lindsay Smith, picks up left-handed, throws into the wicket-keeper Bess Heath, who's come into the side today for Northern Diamonds. 2 more to the total, 103 for 1. So we're kicking things off today, getting things going on this Wednesday afternoon. Then at 4 o'clock you've got South East Stars versus Central Spark, so that'll start probably just before the end of this one, just as we're coming to the end of this game. That one's at Guildford. Then you have this evening 2 games to choose from. Southern Vipers versus Lightning starting down at Southampton at 6:30 before the Sunrisers versus Western Storm. And it's nice to have, actually, just before the start of the Championship cricket that will be brought to you on Lancs TV from tomorrow. We've got the Charlotte Edwards Cup, certainly in the UK, centre stage here. There's a test match going on between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, also a bit of Indian Premier League and some multi-day cricket in the Caribbean, but certainly here in the UK, the Charlotte Edwards Cup centre stage. As Glenn comes into bowl from the Dane Road end, it's wide, and it is 104 for 1 with the extra added to the total.
Yeah, I like the way the day is set up today for the Charlotte Edwards Cup. I'll probably get home in time to watch one of the evening games, and I'm just hoping that everybody gets the best of the weather, as we are having so far.
I was going to say, we're certainly enjoying it here out on the balcony as in comes Glenn and bowls. It's swept by Lamb, who's going to take at least one. And, in fact, sorry, by Lamb. Lamb's departed by Collins, should we say. 105 for 1 is the score at the moment for Thunder, and they'll be happy with it.
It's really important that they don't lose that momentum that they've built with that great platform.
Delighted to say we have 3,000 of you watching the stream at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. And as you say, you can watch those streams right through the day here on the Charlotte Edwards Cup as another single is added by Boyce. She's just ticking along nicely here, up to 44, 107. But Thunder just need somebody here to really go. Whether that's the new batter Collins, whether that's Boyce herself, we will see. But they want to put an imposing total on the board here at Sale Cricket Club. As Glenn bowls, this one's hit nicely by Collins and has found the gap behind square, guided it, just kept the wrists following the ball and taking it round to the backward square leg boundary. 111 for 1, and Collins moves on to 5. Lovely, lovely shot. As I say, delighted to have 3,100 of you now with us on the live stream. Make sure you hit the little thumbs up button if you like what you're seeing, and I'm sure, like Faith Florence, they probably enjoyed that stroke from Collins if they're of a Thunder persuasion.
That was an excellent shot, and that will feel really good for Collins.
Pressure on Diamonds, who won their first game against Lightning and be looking to back it up. We mentioned 3 finals so far, so they're a side who are used to being involved at the back end of these competitions. Dot ball there. They'll feel they have just enough control here, but with those wickets in hand, it could so easily be lost if Collins and Boyce can keep going. Here's Glenn. Right arm over the wicket. Dane Road end of the ground. Collins has tried to work very leg side, not got much of it, but has got a single, which I think will be signalled by leg byes. In fact, it won't, so there must have just been a little slither of bat as it was an attempt to work that one out into the leg side. 112 for 1 the score moves on to.
That was a better sliding of the bat there, demonstrated by Collins.
Beautiful day as we shield our eyes from the sun, the breeze just ruffling the trees over way towards the Kingston Drive, and a drive from Boyce, a rather fluid one, brings her another single and takes her on to 45. 113 for 1. Diamonds players scamper out to the leg side boundary. There's 3 of them back there, mid-ons up, so that would be the option for Collins to take on if she wants to. Glenn bowls, Collins goes for the sweep. Perhaps not a sensible option bowling down the leg side to the left-hander here, because she either hits it for 4 or you pick up a wide like that. 115 for 1. I guess though it is difficult to, the lines are so precise these days for bowlers, it can be a challenge just moving it over slightly for the switch of batters, which is why it's nice to have a partnership like this. Lovely fluid stroke there from Collins. Just checked the drive at the end, but only found Armitage and didn't find a run. She'll be looking to try and accelerate things now, will Collins, but 114 for 1 with 5 overs to go. What do you make of that?
Well, she's looking good. I think she's had enough time to sort of bat herself in now, to find her rhythm, feel comfortable at the crease, get things going with Georgie Boyce. So I think it's definitely time for one or the other, if not both, to really kick on and start to accelerate. You know, when you look at the Diamonds team, there's a lot of batting power there. You expect that a lot of runs will be on the cards. So we need a really good total.
They're at the stage, aren't they, where they've got a score. It's just how much they can add to it and what they can add on to that total. Well, that'll help. It looks like it's going to go all the way for 6 from Georgie Boyce, right down the ground. Lovely stroke. And that brings up Georgie Boyce's 50. She moves to 51. A sparkling innings from the Thunder opener, who perhaps in this form of the game last season didn't excel the way she would have liked to. Made a 50 against Ireland in a tour game, but struggled with a best of 34 last season in this competition. Well, she's gone way past that. 51 to Georgie Boyce's name, and she's got power to add here as she thought about going for a really wild swing off the back foot, but in the end just guided it away for one. 121 for one, the Thunder score. Another magnificent innings there from a Thunder opener. We've seen it from Emma Lamb, and now we've seen it from Georgie Boyce.
Indeed, I'm made up to see that 50 there from Georgie Boyce. She's been batting really well in the County Cup in the pre-season. We know that she's got those shots, she's got that power. I mean, she's opening the batting for a very, very good team. So it was only a matter of time before we started to see 50s like this from her.
Collins waits, tapping her bat twice as this one is delivered and pushed down the onside. Kasperick tries to get there and do the fielding off her own bowling, but instead has to settle for conceding one. 122 for one, the total. And Boyce back onto strike, which means absolutely anything's on the cards for her here. She can...
I mean, like I said in that County Cup a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weekends ago, she scored a 50 in the semi-final. She batted, I don't think she batted through, I can't remember whether she batted through in the final and carried her bat, but she certainly got another 50 and kept things ticking along there. So she's in really good form, and it's going to be great to see her bring that form into the Charlotte Edwards Cup.
We can see she can be destructive, as she proved with that shot down the ground. She's gone for it again. Has she got all of this? Doesn't look like it. And it's been caught out there, has it? No, it's just bounced in front. In fact, I think it was a free hit. Will be my analysis of that one, because Boyce had come down the track, not got all of it. It was caught out there. And one added to the total as Collins forces it down. 125 for one, the total. As Collins taps twice, and then in comes Kasperick, driven down the onside of the pitch by Collins. 126 for one.
Yeah, it's important they keep rotating the strike here. It looks like Georgie Boyce is the one who's really getting going, so important for Collins to just make sure she keeps things ticking on and hands over the strike.
Here is Boyce. What will she do to this delivery from Kasperick? It's bowled full and bounces past Winfield Hill just on the rugged end of a pitch there, and it's a dive that was always going to struggle to stop the ball, but certainly wasn't as soon as it popped up off the end of the wicket there. And 127 for one is the score at the end of the 16th over. So Boyce bringing up her 50 with a 6 and proving she's got what it takes to lead this Thunder lineup to a score here.
Absolutely, it's so good to see her still in at this stage of the innings, still scoring boundaries, striking really well. So I think they're really going to have to pump these last 5 overs and really look to put a big score on the board.
That's it, isn't it? This is the time where you want to be looking for those 10s and 12s, but it's certainly easier said than done. 4 overs to go. Lindsay Smith from the Dane Road end here at Sale Cricket Club. Just short of a length. Forced down the onside. Dot ball. Smith will be happy with that. Played for 3 different KSL franchises in the T20 competition that preceded these regional ones, as bowls again, and this one's played away into the leg side. Armitage in with a fielding at long on. One taken by Boyce. 128 for one. It will be Collins' turn now. Yep, she represented Diamonds, also Lightning and Vipers, so quite a collection of teams that.
Indeed, lots of experience there in Lindsay Smith and in the Diamond side.
And that's what will mean that every run here for Thunder needs to be taken. Every run is precious, because they know they have an experienced batting lineup to defend against in the second innings of this game. Modest crowd here at Sale Cricket Club. The hedges just been ruffled by the breeze in the distance as this one's turned away into the short green outfield, which is neatly trimmed. Preparation for this game in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Another one, that dab behind square, 129 for 1. Boyce back on strike.
She's had a good look at all the bowlers now, Georgie Boyce. She's hit a fair amount of runs off them all.
So what option will she choose here? It's down the track, it's hit hard back at the bowler, and no run is on offer. The fielders up at long off and long on were brought onto their toes by that, but Lindsay Smith was the one who did the fielding. It's been a tight over this in the 17th so far, but Boyce will be looking to clap it away, and she's down the track again. Hasn't quite got all of it. It'll bounce once into the hands of Marlowe. And another one taken. Very, very good over so far from Smith.
Yeah, Boyce did a little shuffle down the track there, so she's definitely looking to go for it. Looking for that big boundary option.
Collins now probably in need of a boundary herself. 130 for 1. Collins drives into the offside, but doesn't get enough of it to find a run. A very, very tidy over indeed from Lindsay Smith. 130 for 1. As the Thunder team just in need of accelerating this up towards probably 150, maybe even 160 if they can get up to tens, but that's going to require boundaries, which they weren't able to find in that previous over. Levick looks as if she's coming on to bowl the next.
Yeah, I think they've really got to go for it now. We've got 9 wickets in hand. There's batting to come with Ellie Threlkeld coming in next. I think these two can afford to really go for it, take some risks, but also, of course, keep batting discipline.
The distinctive action of Levick delivers the ball to Boyce, who hits it into the onside, not quite connecting. They're thinking about coming back, but probably would have ended in disaster, so they're sensible to remain at their respective creases of Boyce and Collins. Collins has 9. One nice boundary behind square on the leg side, but she needs to add to that now. 131 for 1. Assesses the options. They're all moving at the moment. Short fine leg, short third, backward point, cover, and an extra cover in the ring. As Collins hits this one hard down the ground, finds long off. It's bobbling all the way, which would have kept the fielder on their toes, but it's returned for the cost of only the 1 run. Boyce is on strike. 132 for 1. Thunder keeping it moving nicely, but they need boundaries now. Boyce tries to go for the big heave into the leg side. Levick's hands go to her head because she thought she'd just snuck through onto the off stump, but all it will be recorded as in the book is a dot. Levick again. Throws it up. Boyce comes down. Doesn't quite catch it the way she'd like. It bounces in front of the fielder and it's skipped past and away for 4 runs. And 4 much needed runs from the Thunder perspective. They'd struggled with the boundaries as this innings comes to a close, but they've got a fortunate one there. The fielder had to sort of try and get underneath it, and in doing so got a bounce in front of them that was unfavourable. 140 for 1. Levick again. Boyce down the track. Again doesn't get much of it. Up to long on for 1.
Yeah, that was quite a lucky boundary there. I think a combination of the sunshine and this sort of slightly wavy field, a little bit.
Here's Collins. 137 for 1, apologies. Got ahead of myself there as Collins hits this one high. There's a fielder underneath it, and the catch will be there on the deep mid-wicket rope. And the innings of Collins comes to an end on 10. She had to go for it there, and Marlowe was on hand with the catch out on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Needed to be taken and was taken in the end. 137 for 2. Thunder lose their 2nd wicket. It's Danny Collins who departs.
Yeah, she will. Daniel Collins will have wanted to score a few more runs. But the pleasing thing, I guess, is that she really went for the shots. She took the aerial option on that occasion, got caught out, but she was clearly trying to keep the score moving, maybe try and score some boundaries. And the good thing is we now get Ellie Threlkeld walking out to the crease. And we know that she certainly can give the ball a good whack. She can play her shots. She's a captain. So she'll have that feeling of that responsibility of finishing this really good platform, finishing it off nicely for the Thunder and making sure that they get plenty more runs on. At the moment they've got, what, 137?
Yeah, 137 for 2 is the Thunder score. Threlkeld walking to the wicket. Began captaining this team in competitive cricket against the Vipers in the previous game of this tournament, the first game of the season this tournament. That was her 50th consecutive performance. I was reading in Elizabeth Botcherby's article for the Cricketer for Thunder in its various guises as Threlkeld looks to come back for 2. She's really going to have to sprint for it, and she does so, and the captain leading by example there, 139 for 2. Boyce's legs will be starting to feel it at this stage of the innings, and having someone like Threlkeld coming in and pushing you like that's very helpful indeed.
Indeed, and if she doesn't want to run, she'll have to score a boundary.
Well, indeed, that's the challenge laid down by Faith Florence to Georgie Boyce. She looked with a swing of the bat there as if she was going to do so, but only could find Marlowe, who's now moved out to the boundary here at long off.
It's amazing to hear that that's Ellie Threlkeld's 50th appearance. She's still only so young, 23. What an extraordinary cricketer.
Makes you realise just how long these franchises that came about from the KSL and were then adapted into this regional structure have been about longer than you think. They seem brand new still, as this one's put into the leg side. Threlkeld's looking for 2. Threlkeld wants it, and as we say, Boyce has been out there for all, well, we're nearly up to the 18 over mark of this innings. We've decided that perhaps she wasn't going to get back on that occasion, but good intent from Threlkeld. 141 for 2 the total moves on to. Smith, who was miserly in the last over, has been miserly again here and will pick up a wicket. Boyce slicing it behind square on the offside and will have to depart for a very well made 65. The catch taken at backward point, and Boyce just struggling to connect at the back end of the innings there with those attempts to come down the track, but it's a very, very important innings for her team. 65 before she was out to the bowling of Lindsay Smith.
A really, really excellent discipline and mature innings there from Georgie Boyce. The team will be absolutely made up to have that contribution from her. For her to stay in right through up to the 18th over and to score plenty of boundaries, to run those 1s and 2s. I think that bodes really well for the rest of the competition for Georgie Boyce.
It's exactly what a team needed, isn't it, as Sachi Pai makes her way out to the wicket. And the catcher there was Phoebe Turner at backward point, coming into the side at short notice, of course, for the injured Langston. Well, she's at least got something to take away from it, because she has had Georgie Boyce caught for 65 at backward point off the bowling of Lindsay Smith. Smith still has an opportunity to pick up something else from this over here. Pai returning after a bit of time away studying in Loughborough when she became part of the Lightning franchise. Gets a wide ball first, which is a bonus. 141 for 3 the total. Here comes Smith, one by Slater just inside the rope. The return wasn't a particularly brilliant one to Heath, but it was out the hand quickly, which was what mattered there, and that ensured the batters couldn't come back for another. 143 for 3. Pai off the mark with that sweep shot, and it was a nice one too. Here comes Smith again. Bowls to Pai, hits this high in the air. Now she's going to be caught at long on. Had to go for it. It was the right approach. Armitage with the catch off the bowling of Lindsay Smith, who has bowled superbly. She bowled an over for 3 when she came back into the attack in the 17th over, and then the 19th over she's picked up 2 wickets here. And Sachi Pai is out for 2, caught by Holly Armitage off the bowling of Lindsay Smith.
Yeah, you can't keep Lindsay Smith quiet for long. It's unusual for her to go through a whole 20 overs without a wicket, so she's getting them now, but Sachupai was really going for it. I mean, I think it was the right thing to do with just a few balls left in the innings.
But it shows the quality, doesn't it, of the likes of Levick, who had Collins caught and built the pressure really in that over, and then backed up with 2 wickets from Lindsay Smith, getting Boyce out, caught for 65. Boyce caught by Phoebe Turner off Lindsay Smith, making 65, 56 balls with 6 fours and 1 6 as bowls to Threlkeld and bowls Threlkeld does Levick. Going for that sweep shot, it's a favoured option. It's exactly what Thunder have got to do at the back end of the innings. They've got to try and add to this total. But unfortunately for Threlkeld, she's been unable to connect there, and it's led to her dismissal. Ellie Threlkeld walks off the pitch, just the one to her name, and she has been bowled. But the Thunder captain will be happy with the base that's been set, and they're just trying to accelerate it up past 150 in this 20th over. Jackson on her way to the crease.
That's right. I mean, I think the score on 143 for 5 now. I think Thunder would be disappointed not to get up to 150, so they've got an over left to get up to that, if not further than that score.
Yep, 7 more required for that, and that would be a tough test for Diamonds in the second innings. We've mentioned the strength that is in their batting lineup, the likes of Siver and Winfield Hill chiefly among it, but Armitage, who was their leading scorer in the competition last year, will fancy this too, as Levick just lets one, as can happen to a leg spinner. Every now and again they don't come out quite as you expect, and that's a wide down the leg side. 144 for 5. That means there's 5 balls to get 6 runs for that 150. Jackson tries to force but misses the ball and is bowled, and Laura Jackson is out. It's been a very professional way that Levick and Smith at the back end of this innings have gone about things, and someone in that Thunder team is going to have to match that control with the ball and put the pressure on the Diamonds players, because they've really put the squeeze on at the back end of this innings and look as if they may well prevent this total going past 150. Phoebe Graham on her way to the wicket.
Indeed, and much like Lindsay Smith, Katie Levick is another one that it would be very, very rare day for her not to take a couple of wickets at least in an innings. So it seems she saved them all for the last over. Let's see what Phoebe Graham can put on the board for us now.
Well, as I say, it's one of the real quirks of the game the other day that it's not often you see a bowler of Levick's quality only getting the one over and taking a bit of tap during it, but she's proved why she's got those 60 wickets in the county T20 competition, and she's picked up 2 today, as this one is forced into the leg side, and there's going to be 2 on offer, in fact 3 today, because 2 in this over, of course, Threlkeld and Jackson. But Graham picks up 2 there. Good running from the new batter to the crease. Takes the total up to 146, so they're a boundary away from that 150 mark. It's still on offer. It's tantalising for Thunder as Levick bowls. Graham cuts, much in the fashion that Jackson tried to, but a little bit of bat involved this time. Got it behind square on the offside. 147 for 6, the total.
Phoebe Graham will fancy getting these last few runs, getting us up to 150 against her old side.
Yes, of course, that's the little bit of a subtext to this game as Marshall comes down the track and has hit it straight at cover and is out. Again, the right thing to do, but every player who's tried to accelerate the scoring here for the Thunder has found themselves dismissed as a result of it, and this one hits straight at cover, and out is Laura Marshall without adding to the board. A poor stroke, and it's Winfield Hill with the catch there off the bowling of Katie Levick, who's picked up 3 wickets in a final over. A wicket as well from the last ball of the over before that, so 4 for Levick, and she's proven her class.
Indeed, and whatever the outcome of this match, that's one of the things that Thunder will want to review. Having set a big platform, having 5 overs left to really go for it, how do you take the positive options without losing your wickets so quickly?
Turner then. Still, as we say, a boundary away from that 150 mark that they'd be very happy with. Turner's gone for the reverse sweep. There's an appeal for LBW. Looked a little bit leg side from our angle, but very difficult to tell from a long leg where we're sat on the balcony. 1 leg by taken, 148 for 7. We'll just confirm that. I'm not sure whether the board's ticked over. It does now. 148 for 7. So 149 needed by the Diamonds, Faith Florence. How are you viewing that potential chase?
Well, it's not a bad total. I think they'll definitely be happy to have put a lot more runs on the board than they did on the weekend. Against another quality side like the Diamonds. Batting first, Thunder would have wanted to go out there, be really positive, put that big score on the board. And they started very well. The power play was excellent. Well, a little bit slow perhaps to start with, but then they accelerated through and started to find their touch, started to find those boundaries. We saw some big sixes from Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce, and they batted really well to set that very strong platform. Lost the wicket of Emma Lamb, but Georgie Boyce continued to accelerate and to get up to the score of 148. It might be just enough if the bowlers can do their thing,
Well, that's it, isn't it? Somebody's got to match those overs from Smith and Levick, who picked up very tidy figures in the end due to what they did at the back end of the innings, really. Levick picking up 4 wickets and Smith 2.
Indeed.
Just see the ground staff sweeping away there. So just tell us a little bit, Faith Florence, first time you've joined us on Lancs TV for one of these Thunder commentaries. Just tell us a little bit about how you sort of gained that interest in the Thunder and how you came to follow them as a team.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. It is my first time here. I'm really, really happy to be here and to have been invited on. I listen to the streams all the time. I've been following Lancashire and Thunder for the past few years now. I live in Liverpool. I'm a teacher and I work in adult education at the moment. And one of the things that I love to do, just when I have time for fun, to be part of the community, is to go out and watch my local teams and support them and watch different sports. I've always loved watching cricket. I played in PE at school a little bit. I was born and raised in Nairobi, and we got to play all kinds of different sports at school. I really took to playing netball, but I loved watching cricket. And we'd watch it on the TV a lot, West Indies teams of sort of the 80s and 90s. So that's where I learned about the game. And then when I studied in England, I studied down in Canterbury, and we used to go down to the ground on a weekend and, like take a bottle of Carver and watch the county game there. And so that really sort of piqued my interest in watching live cricket. I mean, there's really no substitute to being down at the ground, hearing the ball off the bat and really seeing the effort of the players, and you can see the whole field from your perspective out in the crowd. So having settled now in Liverpool for the past 10 years, and that's my home, one of the first things I wanted to do was look for my netball team, the cricket team that I was going to follow and support, and I'd seen that Lancashire were playing down in Aigburth, which wasn't far from where I live in Toxteth, in the Dingle specifically, and that was a few years ago. I don't know whether that was 2018 or thereabouts, and I could just walk up and go along and watch them, and yeah, it didn't take long for me to decide this is going to be my team. I think we talk a lot about sort of mental health in sports and in every walk of life, really, and I find it so important to have this outlet to be able to go to support a local team. It makes you feel like part of the community, and to get something to do with your friends or family who might be into cricket, or taking people along to watch a new sport. These are the things that kind of make me feel happy, make me feel involved. And so I've really loved kind of being on the journey with the Lancs and Thunder over the last couple of years. I love the fact that it's quite a young squad, but with some experienced players in there as well, and they always put on a good fight.
Yep, and they've done they've done an excellent job so far. We'll run you through the card just before we get back after the break, but the total for Northern Diamonds to chase will be 149.
So Ellie, it's been announced this morning that you will be Thunder captain for the 2022 season. How does it feel to finally have that announced and be able to hear that?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, to be honest. Obviously, pretty proud achievement and something I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I'm really excited to get going.
You captained the side in Dubai in the absence of Alex Hartley. Did that give you a real taste for the role, and did you find that kind of a useful learning experience?
Yeah, definitely. It was really good to get that opportunity out in Dubai. The girls were brilliant as well, and had some pretty positive feedback and really enjoyed it. So yeah, feeling pretty good about the season.
Do you feel the preparation has been better this year with obviously Dubai coming up, as well as the girls kind of putting in the work in the indoor centre?
Yeah, definitely. I think the girls have had another long winter behind them, another winter of a full-time programme. And yes, I was away for a few months of the winter, and then to come back into that environment in Dubai, you can really see how much progress the girls have made. And like you said, to get the opportunity out in Dubai with the boys as well, just shows how committed Lancashire are to developing the women's game. And that was just a brilliant opportunity for us to train at world-class facilities and to play some decent games of cricket before the season.
And it's a young squad. You're only 23 yourself and captain of the squad now. Over the last few years, because it's such a young squad, have you kind of developed that mentor type role, given the probably average age of the squad is about 20, 21?
Yeah, definitely. I think we are a really young group, but at the same time, that's really exciting. I think hopefully we're going to be together now for the next few years. And yeah, there's some really exciting players in that group. And although we are young, I think we've got a real chance of competing really well this year.
As we mentioned, yeah, a young squad, and there's some older heads within there that can kind of add to your leadership group with Alex as well as Kate Cross. And then also coaching-wise, you've got Paul Shaw and Stephen Parry. Will you be looking to them to kind of take on their knowledge and learn from them a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. The coaching staff we've had this year have been brilliant, and I couldn't have asked any more of them, and I'm going to definitely use all their knowledge and experience to try and get better. And like you said as well, we've got some players who've played quite a lot of international cricket as well. We've got Kate Cross, Alex Hartley, Sophie Eccleston all into that mix and hopefully available for selection this year. So yeah, I'll definitely be using all of their knowledge and experience to try and develop my own leadership skills.
And then as captain this year, what are your aims for Thunder this season, and how do you want to help the side push on?
I think, like I said before, we've got a really exciting group of cricketers this year who've made a lot of progress over the winter, and I'm quietly confident that we'll have a really good season. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to some really big performances from the girls. We've spent the last few weeks playing some county cricket, and a lot of the players, even if it's not been with Lancashire, have put in some really big performances, and I'm really excited about them hopefully doing that for the Thunder this year.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Sale Cricket Club. You're with Mike Perkins and Faith Florence on Lancs TV, and the chase will be 149 for the Northern Diamonds to try and beat the Thunder here in this second game of the season of the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the first here at, or the first home game for Thunder, certainly the first at Sale Cricket Club as well. And it was a excellent opening partnership of 95 by Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce before Lamb was caught by Nat Siver out on the mid-wicket boundary off the bowling of Glenn for 50 exactly on the dot, 41 balls with 3 4s and 2 6s. Second to go was Danielle Collins for 10. She was caught by Marlowe off the bowling of Levick, faced 15 balls, and the score was 136 for 2 at that stage. Boyce had already brought up her 50 and went on to make 65 from 56 balls, including 6 4s and 1 6, before being caught by Phoebe Turner off the bowling of Lindsay Smith. Smith would also add the wicket of Sachi Pai before the end of that over, caught by Holly Armitage for 2 runs off 2 balls. Very nice sweep shot, but then was caught at long on. Laura Marshall then was at the crease with Ellie Threlkeld, the captain, who was out for 1, bowled by Katie Levick, attempting a sweep shot at the end of at the start of the final over. Then Jackson was out looking to force the ball away into the offside off the back foot, also bowled by Levick for no score. And Marshall was out for no score herself, caught by Winfield Hill at cover off the bowling of Katie Levick. So Lindsay Smith and Katie Levick the pick of the bowlers, Emma Lamb and Georgie Boyce the pick of the batters. Phoebe Graham was 3 not out, and Turner of the Sophia variety, because we have Phoebe Turner as well playing in this game, but Thunder's Turner is Sophia Turner, who was 1 not out and will be useful with the ball, no doubt, in the second innings of this game. The bowling figures: Marlowe 3 overs, 14 runs for no wicket. Slater 3 overs, no maidens, 25 runs for no wicket. Lindsay Smith 23 for 2 from her 4 overs. Katie Levick from her 4 overs, 22 for 4. By far the pick of the bowlers there, but as I say, it was a good partnership between the left arm spinner and the leg spinner for Northern Diamonds, who really restricted this total at the back end of the innings. Kasperick bowled 3 overs for 34 without producing a wicket, and Glenn, who got the first wicket of the innings, that of Emma Lamb, for 50, bowled 3 overs and picked up 28 for 1. So that's where we're at in this game. 149 required for the Northern Diamonds if they are to beat the Thunder here and get their second win of the competition. Thunder, of course, were beaten by Vipers in the first game, but they've got a much better total on the board here, Faith Florence, and I think they'll be pretty confident down there in the grey strips away to our left as they start to make their way onto the field, that they can defend this one.
Yes, I reckon they will feel quite confident. In Hannah Jones and Alex Hartley, they've got 2 left arm spinners that can do the damage of their own. They've got Phoebe Graham, who will be itching to take some wickets against her old side. So I think if they tighten up the fielding from last weekend against the Vipers, I think that's something that they would have talked about and reflected on, and will definitely be keen to improve
chasing
the fielding. And so I think, yeah, they'll be confident that with that score on the board, they can, and with those wicket takers in their attack, they should be able to do some damage here, and certainly restrict them from scoring quickly in the power play. They can take a couple of big wickets in the power play. You know, we look, of course, at Lauren Winfield Hill. That would be a great scalp to take in the first couple of overs.
And Beth Heath can hit a cricket ball, can't she? When she's striding out to the middle there. Didn't play the first game, but she's alongside Lauren Winfield Hill, and Beth Heath is a clean striker of the ball. We saw that particularly in the 100.
Yes, in the 100 and in the back end of the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy as well last year. So she's certainly no pushover, and that's a very formidable opening combination there for the Diamonds. The Thunder are really going to have to bring their best right from the outset and try and strike early and get some good wickets there.
So the crease mark then by Winfield Hill, made 96 from 51 deliveries in the opening game of the competition this year. Likes to lay down a marker for the season. Also made 110 in the first game of the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, the 50-over competition in 2021, and that very much earned her England recall. As Jackson is going to open the bowling for the Thunder from the Dane Road end of the ground here at Sale Cricket Club. It's back and into the crease goes Winfield Hill, plays it out into the offside, and doesn't chip away at any of those 149 runs which are required for victory here. Deep backward square leg and a fine leg in place for Jackson, so she'll have to be tight on the offside. It's fairly packed though, with Hartley at mid-off, Lamb at cover, or extra cover really. There's a conventional cover as well. A backward point and a short third. No run there from Winfield Hill as she tried to strike the ball away into the leg side. It feels a good batting track, this one. Feels as if 149 is within reach.
It does, and that's the reason why Thunder have really got to strike early.
But it also feels like we've got a good game of cricket on our hands. Here comes Jackson. Bowling to Winfield Hill, who tries to have a big old drive into the offside, doesn't get any of it. The gloves of Threlkeld, as they often are, were lightning fast. And she grabbed hold of the ball from Jackson. Still no score, with 3 balls of this Diamonds innings gone. So they'll be chasing off 117 balls now, and then they'll be chasing off even less than that, because Jackson has bowled Winfield Hill 96 the other day, but goes without scoring. Diamonds 0 for 1, chasing 149, and it's the perfect start for Thunder.
Yes, talk about the perfect start. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Well done, Laura Jackson. And I've been reading some interviews with her recently, and she's really feeling confident, really ready to show what she's about this season. And that will give her so much confidence and, of course, lift the whole team. And this is exactly the approach that we hope for from the Thunder in this innings. So if they can keep this going, I think they'll look pretty good to defend that total.
Well, well, well. Winfield Hill limping off the field slightly, in fact, and that's a concern for both the Diamonds and England. I'm sure they'll see to it. Nat Siver then on her way to the crease, probably earlier than expecting, probably with less of the total knocked off than she was expecting. She has all 149 left to get. And she walks out and takes her guard now, with Jackson will be absolutely delighted with her start, picking up a wicket without conceding a run.
Indeed, hopefully that adrenaline will keep flowing as she bowls to one of the finest batters in the world cricket at the moment.
Here's Siver, waits and back. Characteristically, there's a big appeal. It felt like it was creeping down leg just from the position of the wicketkeeper Threlkeld there. But why not ask? Because
yes, Laura Jackson. This is.
If it had been none for 2, then Thunder would have been in a very, very good position in this game.
This is good.
Bess Heath at the non-strikers and must be thinking, what's going on here? As players with international experience are struggling here against Laura Jackson. 1 run, the first of the innings, means another 148 will be required for victory. At the end of the first over, 1 for 1. The Diamonds score, and it's Lauren Winfield Hill who's out facing just 4 balls and not making a single run before being bowled by Laura Jackson. An excellent start, as you say. She's taken on a professional contract. She's from Ormskirk, Laura Jackson, and she's proving just what she can do.
First home game of the season at your home ground. This is exactly how you want to start.
No stranger to bowling to Nat Siver. I imagine during England nets this happened all the time during that fabulous World Cup win that Alex Hartley was part of and Nat Siver was part of.
Yeah, so they might both think, you know, each one thinks the other's got the other one figured out.
Be an intriguing battle here as Hartley bowls her first ball and picks up a dot, and it's certainly been a tight start this from Thunder. Lots of dot balls, and to the international quality as well of Winfield Hill and Siver. Here's Hartley again, bowls to Siver, who plays it away into the offside. No run is on offer again. Diamonds under pressure here. Hartley bowling to him for the Thunder, and that's how you respond to pressure from Nat Siver. A strike down the ground, but Georgie Boyce has done ever so well to get a left hand on it, and not only that, but actually keep it within the ropes and keep the scoring to just 1. So the tight start continues. On this occasion, it's Georgie Boyce who led from the front with the bat with 65, who ensures no more damage there. 2 for 1. Heath to face her first ball of the innings. Hartley throws it up and tempts Heath, who accepts the invitation with a fierce drive into the offside, but it's fielded by Emma Lamb.
We talked about the tight fielding, didn't we? And it's really good to see Thunder starting off that way.
Here's Hartley again, and this one is just pulled it back, didn't she? It was the old 1-2, throw the first one up, encourage the drive, and then pull the second one back and see if she goes for it again. But Heath wasn't to be fooled, settles for a dot ball and waits once more, but again will be scoreless, and again it continues to be tight. 2 for 1 after 2 overs, chasing 149, remember. Thunder on top in this game.
She's a canny bowler, Alex Hartley, and she'll really relish bowling against her old England teammate. I think we're in for a real treat this afternoon.
And based on the form of last year, Lightning, of course, didn't win a game. Thunder didn't qualify for the finals. They were in with a chance going into a game against Diamonds, interestingly enough, but it was Diamonds who prevailed in that one. And so things went with form in the first round, but Thunder really putting pressure now on Diamonds with a score on the board and some very, very tight fielding and some very, very accurate bowling. Another dot ball from Jackson there, right in the spot. The cut from Siver not producing a run. Reminder, we're at Sale Cricket Club here today. Trees in splendid form. Lots of greenery all around us as Jackson bowls. This one's cut behind square into the offside. It's Hannah Jones who fields at a sort of, it's almost 2 backward points there. I'm never sure when backward point quite becomes short third, but Hannah Jones behind square on the offside, the furthest behind square, doing the fielding and again preventing a run being scored. Jackson, who's been accurate, and Diamonds ring the changes with their bowlers. Well, after Jackson's first over, there was no way anyone was getting the ball out her hand to stop her having a second, and she's started with 3 dots, 2 for 1.
You can really hear her teammates encouraging her out there in the field, being really vocal, really supportive. That's what we know and love about Thunder.
They've been training here a lot, haven't they? As soon as they've been allowed outside, they've been coming down to Sale Cricket Club, so they know their surroundings. That is the first loose ball from Jackson, wide outside the off stump. 149 the chase. 2 of them have been knocked off, but for the loss of Lauren Winfield Hill, who made 96, remember, in the previous game. Well, our team are going to have to get all 149 without her today as Siver cuts, but it was edgily and uppishly to Jones, who definitely is at short third now. She's moved round a couple of bases and stops that one there. Keeps the score at 3 for 1. Only the wide ball adding to the total in this over. Here's Jackson again. And she's bowled! Nat Siver! And she's got the 2 international players at the top of the Diamonds order. Siver coming into the side today, and she is bowled by Laura Jackson for just the 2 runs. As Lauren Winfield Hill was bowled without scoring. All sorts of trouble. 3 for 2, chasing 149 the Diamonds.
Well, it's only trouble if you're in the Diamonds, and I've got the biggest grin on my face because this is exactly what we wanted to see. This is what Thunder would have talked about, you know, putting a good score on the board and then striking early, and then to get those 2 big names out in the first couple of overs. You could not wish for a better start. Laura Jackson, take a bow. She's absolutely on fire, and this is what we love to see. I mean, a Wednesday afternoon in Manchester at this gorgeous cricket ground, what could be better?
And a player that they've identified, they've said they want to give a professional contract to, and getting out two players of international class. It's the epitome of what this tournament is about.
Indeed, and you know, she said herself she was feeling ready, she's feeling good for this season. She's going to show what she's about, and it's just so pleasing to see her doing that.
Maybe one or two asking Kate who's the player who's missing from the lineup today, the England international bowler for the Thunder. Eccleston also out for the IPL T20 Challenge, having been at the fair break. But
course,
Laura Jackson, the only blemish on that over, because she's picked up wickets in both her first 2 overs. The first one going for just the 1 run, and the second one going for the same, just 1 run, and also picking up a wicket. 3 for 2 at the end of the 3rd over of the innings. Laura Jackson, absolutely fantastic. Kate Cross not available today, but it's not mattered. The seam attack has been led by Laura Jackson.
Oh, it's wonderful bowling, and you know, we've only just mentioned Kate Cross. I thought about it last night when looking through the squad, and of course she's gone off to play in the Women's T20 Challenge in India. But today somehow I feel very confident about the squad anyway, and they're really showing us why, despite missing 2 of their big name bowlers.
Really delighted to have 1,500 of you with us on Lancs TV. We're up to 3,100 in the first innings, 1 or 2 getting a cup of tea in the break, and they've missed an exciting start to this, and that's why it pays to be with us right through these games, as the edge of the Heath bat will produce 2. Threlkeld throws to the non-striker's end. Phoebe Graham into the attack against her former team, a side that she made 15 appearances for during the first 2 seasons of these regional competitions, the Rachel Hayer Flint Trophy and the Charlotte Edwards Cup that we're playing today. And she's made the decision. She was with the Northern Superchargers in the 100 as well, the Headingley franchise, and she's made the decision to move over to the Manchester Originals in that, as she bowls a wide down the leg side and adds 1 to the total, score on to 6 for 2. But she's also moved regionally as well, and will be with Thunder in the Charlotte Edwards Cup and the Rachel Hayer Flint Trophy, so she'll be looking to get 1 over on some batters she knows very well. She's bowling the 4th over of the innings for Thunder, and is penalised the other way this side, and another wide, 7 for 2, just went wide down the legs and then over corrected the other way. Thunder still in control though at these early stages, but we mentioned Holly Armitage at the non-strikers now will fancy this chase as Graham bowls and Heath is driving but doesn't find a run on that occasion.
That's another reason I feel so good about the Thunder this year, with Phoebe Graham, another fast bowler, a seamer addition to the squad with experience, and we know she's a wicket taker.
Voice of Faith Florence alongside myself, Mike Perkins, on Lancs TV, as Graham bowls and Heath is playing it into the leg side. Cross comes Turner with the fielding and returns the ball to Threlkeld just for the damage of 1 run. 8 for 2. Armitage making a highest score of the season in the final last year, 59. That made her Diamond's top run score as well, with 141 runs in the competition. Captain of the side as well, of course, and pressure on her to produce. It was Lancashire who had the bragging rights in the Roses match in the County T20, as Armitage is forward defending. Armitage played in that match, as did Graham, for her new county Lancashire. And here for Thunder in the regional competition, it's Thunder who are on top. 8 for 2 the score.
And it started a bit like this in the County Cup, where a couple of wickets fell and then they just kept going.
That's what Thunder will be hoping. Graham in that new all-grey strip bowls, and it's in the air and caught, superbly caught, going away to the right-hand side. It was a pull stroke from Armitage, who looks absolutely distraught and is walking from the field, caught off the bowling of her former teammate Phoebe Graham. It's 8 for 3, and Diamonds have a huge task on their hand now to get up to that 149 total they need. Abby Glenn makes her way out.
So they do. The pressure is all on the Diamonds now, and this is the game plan that Thunder would have had to go into the season, into that first game. It didn't quite come off against the Vipers, but they haven't panicked. They've reviewed and they've come back today. That same game plan, bat first, put a score on the board, and then really put some pressure on the opening batters. Take those strikes early. That's exactly what they've done, and this is so good to see from Thunder.
So Armitage, the latest to depart without scoring, caught by Danielle Collins at mid-on, going away to her right off the bowling of Phoebe Graham. It adds to the 2 wickets Jackson took. Lauren Winfield Hill out for Nord off 4 balls bowled, and Nat Siver out for 2 off 10 balls, also bowled by Jackson. We were saying this looked a good batting track, and that's exactly how Thunder made it look. But it's not proved so for the Diamonds, as Glenn comes to the wicket and leaves their first ball outside the off stump, which will be signalled as a wide. 9 for 3 the total, so another 140 required for victory by the Diamonds. It seems a long way off, but these games, they can change. All of you watching at home will know that only too well. Good to have so many of you with us on the stream. Do hit the thumbs up button, it helps people find us, as this one is played away into the leg side. Collins with the fielding after a catch earlier in the over, returns the ball to Threlkeld, and Thunder with another very satisfying over. It's only really been wides which have cost them in this innings. 9 for 3 now the total. Winfield Hill out for 0, Siver out for 2, and Armitage out without scoring as well.
Diamonds will really want to settle and just dig in now, play patiently, just get a bit more of a measure of the Thunder bowlers, and just try to start to build a little bit of a score. Get out of the next couple of overs, maybe with not many runs, but at least having not lost any more wickets, and Thunder will really want to put the squeeze on now.
The platform set, remember, by Emma Lamb making 50, and Georgie Boyce with 65, and then Jackson has got 2 wickets from 2 overs so far. Starts with a wide here, 10 for 3 the Diamonds total, and good captaincy this from Ellie Threlkeld, new into the job, has taken over from Alex Hartley, but she's decided, right, okay, I'm going to keep giving my premier bowler the ball here because she's bowling that well, and she's going to complete the power play from the Dane Road end of the ground with the tennis courts away over her right shoulder to bowl another ball there, another dot ball. That's been the theme of the spell. It's been interspersed with wickets as well.
They're up and about, the Thunder fielders here, aren't they? You can really hear them encouraging each other, keeping it tight.
You can feel the squeeze on the Diamonds batters as this one's back of a length, it's hit up towards mid-on, and even though there probably wasn't a 1 on offer, there was a thought of taking it, and that's because of the pressure that's on Bess Heath and Abby Glenn here. 2 young batters at the crease, having to find a way towards this total for their team. Can they do so? Jackson trying to back up that dot ball with another. This one's cut away neatly. It was on the front foot, so almost strange to describe that one as a cut, but it was a flashing blade, and the ball stayed into the arc of that cut stroke and away for 4 runs. First boundary of the innings comes in the 5th over. 14 for 3.
It was an impressive shot, that, and sort of battered with a flourish.
Here's Jackson pacing towards the crease. Bowls, right arm over. It's cut again, this time off the back foot, and this time stopped well by Laura Marshall. Always a busy presence in the field. Does very well indeed to get a paw on that and keep it to 1. 15 for 3 the total moves on to. I feel we're definitely going to have a comparison at the end of the 5th over of the 2 scores, because they are starkly different, and it will tell you the story of how this game is going. As in runs Jackson, bowls short of a length to Glenn, and it's into the gloves of Threlkeld, who, as well as captaining the team, having a job to do in the top of the order, is stood up to the stumps with the gloves. Very, very busy woman indeed, and leading Thunder by example. Rainford cricketer, of course, is Threlkeld, and she waits again with those gloves open, and again the ball is directed into them by the right arm of Jackson. 15 for 3, the score at the end of the 5th over at this point. Thunder, who we were questioning how good a power play or not they were having, they've certainly had the better of the two sides. 29 without loss was the Thunder score after 5 overs, so a stark difference between these two sides at the moment.
Indeed, and you'd hope so that on their home ground, the first home game of the season, that this is the kind of performance they'd want to put out.
Well, they'll certainly be delighted with it so far, and Hannah Jones is certainly a miserly operator, and she comes on to bowl here, but her first ball is short and it pops up over the hand of Jackson at backward point. It's hit down hard into the turf, and Bess Heath, who is dangerous square of the wicket on the offside, proving as much, takes her score up to 12. 19 for 3 the Diamonds total, mainly due to those 12. Hannah Jones taking 18 regional wickets across all competitions, but just the 4 of them in the T20, as this one is cut away behind the point fielder on this occasion. Jackson's made a great dive, and judging by the applause of the man sitting on the blanket down there at the 3rd position, she's kept it within the ropes. So 3 taken, moves the score on to 22 for 3. Jones just settling in here, as we say. You don't take 18 regional wickets without being a very good bowler, and she's a very economical operator, and she's picked up a wicket. Hit for 2, a 4 and a 3, and now she's got Abby Glenn LBW with her 3rd delivery, and as if to prove the point there, Hannah Jones into the attack, and Abby Glenn is out for LBW without scoring. 22 for 4.
Exactly, as you say, you don't take 18 regional wickets without really having something about you as a strike bowler. One of my favourite aspects of Thunder last year was all those wickets that Hannah Jones kept taking, and I really had it filed in my mind that she was a bowler that I was going to keep an eye on this season. We'll be looking to go even better than she did last season and make a real name for herself.
Lee Kasperick on her way to the crease. She has to try and accelerate things on now, as she has a chat with Heath, who's 15, has been the main real contribution to this Diamonds innings so far. 4 wickets down already, 149 the chase here, and Lee Kasperick, 85 international appearances for New Zealand. She's going to have to use every ounce of that experience. Starts by trying to swing it away into the leg side, takes a bit of thigh guard by the looks of things, and we just await the tap of the knee. 23 for 4. Bess Heath comes back on to strike. So much riding on the opener's shoulders now. A very, very difficult task indeed for Heath, but with sweep shots like that, she's going to give herself a chance. Now Sachi Pai with the chase and can't quite pull it in before the rope. Just missed it with the dive, and it popped up and away for 4 runs it goes. 27 for 4 now the total for Diamonds, but still such a long way for them to go to that target of 149.
Yeah, good running from Sachi Pai. She gave good chase, but not to be.
Another 122 needed. A big appeal for LBW, and Heath's out as well. 5 down for 27 for the Diamonds in all sorts of bother, and just as Bess Heath looked as if she was going to find a way to get Diamonds started in this innings, she is LBW to Hannah Jones, who's picked up 2 wickets in her first over, and 27 for 5 is real trouble. Heath is out for 19. LBW.
She's not hanging around, Hannah Jones, is she? wants to go much better than those 18 wickets of last season, and this is a way to go about it.
And as power plays go, you can't get much better than that one. 122 more required from the last 5 wickets of Diamonds. Great to see. More than 750 of you have hit that little thumbs up, so thank you so much for that, because it does help people find us. More than 1,500 of you watching Thunder taking firm control of this game, and surely from here it can't happen, can it? This would be an extraordinary chase from the Diamonds with 14 overs remaining to hit 122 runs, and with only 5 wickets remaining as well.
Well, this is cricket, man. You never know. You never know.
There speaks someone who has seen this game before, I think it's fair to say, Faith Lawrence. 36 without loss was the Thunder total from the power play, and they built on that well to a total of 149. 65 from Georgie Boyce, 50 from Emma Lamb, the openers doing their job. But now it's the Diamonds who are having to chase it, and Kasperick getting herself started with a 4. Poor ball from Graham, it was short of a length, didn't really get up, but Kasperick was able to just keep a watchful eye on it and divert it away for 4. And come down and punch gloves with the new batter to the crease, Turner. No, sorry, Turner, I think it is. As in comes Graham and bowls, and that one is short of a length and worked away behind square on the leg side. Kasperick looking for 2, sends Turner back to the ground.
Everybody knows what Lee Kasperick is capable of with the ball, but she's also very handy with the bat.
The guard being taken now by Turner, and Graham, the other number 17 on the pitch, has the ball in hand, making her way into the crease. 32 for 5 Diamonds find themselves, and that's where they'll remain, prodding forward, defending. Kasperick just comes down for a slight word. I still think it's a very good track to bat on, this one. I've not seen too much misbehave, a little on the low side at times, but that's the only criticism you can draw of it, really. As in comes Graham again and bowls to Turner, who flicks it away into the leg side. She's going to look for 2, and she'll push for it. No, she won't. She's run Kasperick out. Disaster for the Diamonds. They're 6 down. Kasperick, with a 85 international caps, will have to walk from the field. They were looking for 2. It wasn't really on. Turner took too long to decide, sent her partner back, and she just couldn't turn in time. And 33 for 6 is a real pickle for the Diamonds to be in. Thunder on course for victory, and a big victory at that.
Wow. You know, I'd even lost track of the fact that we've just came out of the power play. The wickets are falling at such a rate. It feels almost like we should be in, you know, the 18th over or something, but actually we've just started the game, and Thunder are really in control, really putting the squeeze on, putting the foot down, and they'll be so pleased with this performance today. Like I said, having lost that game over the weekend, but it looks like this is the game plan that they had wanted to execute and just fell short, and they've tweaked all those little areas where, you know, I mean, it was everything, a little bit of the batting, a little bit of the bowling, a little bit of the fielding. They weren't bad in any one area, but just sort of let things slip a little bit all round, and today they've just cut that out and are really putting on a good show, and well, the Diamonds are struggling.
They are indeed, and they've been absolutely fantastic. Have the Thunder today. Lee Kasperick out for 5, run out in a moment of confusion with her partner, as Lindsay Smith, who did so well with the ball, comes to the crease and works away into the leg side, but knowing she has an epic task on her hands in order to chase down these 149 the Diamonds need for victory. That was just their 34th run of the innings, so another 115 to get here. Phoebe Graham won't be in the mood to allow many of those to be taken. Just everything's gone right for the Thunder, particularly in this second innings, but I mean right from the start of the game really, with Lamb and Boyce setting that platform, 50 and 65 respectively. Turner with the fielding on the short mid-wicket position, a little bit eager with the throw back to Threlkeld, but Threlkeld won't mind one bit because it hasn't cost them anything, and her team are exactly where they want to be in this game, and they're really putting a squeeze on. End of the 7th over, 34 for 6 the score. Another 115 required for victory by the Diamonds. It looks as if this game belongs to Thunder, and they will go level on points with Diamonds at the top of the group if they can complete victory, because they will have 5 points as well. It looks as if it will be a bonus point victory the way things are standing. I suppose that's something for the Diamonds to be thinking about. Can they get within 1.25 of the run rate of Thunder? But even that is going to be such a huge task.
It's a long way to go for them, isn't it? But when things are going this well, it's important for Thunder to keep that concentration, just control those adrenaline levels. They'll be feeling really up for it.
Hannah Jones, who took 2 wickets in her opening over, comes on to bowl and back into the crease. An attempt at a late cut was Lindsay Smith, makes no contact. Dot ball. Reminder, more Charlotte Edwards Cup games coming up after this one. South East Stars versus Central Sparks at Guildford, as Jones bowls and Smith pushes into the offside, only finds Turner at short extra cover. There's no run on offer. And then Southern Vipers versus Lightning, the other game in this group, is at 6:30, and Sunrisers versus Western Storm at Chelmsford starts at 7 o'clock this evening, as that one is inside edged down to Alex Hartley, that comes round to fine from the 45 position. Smith, you almost felt got a life there as that one squirted past the stumps. 35 for 6. Smith has 2. We thought we were going to get to the start time of that South East Stars game at 4 o'clock. It's the Central Sparks. If there's another 4 good bits of bowling, another 4 mistakes from the Diamonds, then we may well not, as this one is played into the leg side by Turner off the bowling of Jones. That's another dot ball to the analysis. 114 more for the Diamonds to get. It looks a very unlikely prospect. Played into the leg side. Turner has to be quick. The bails were taken. The umpire deciding just, and it must have been by a slither of wood on the end of the bat, that Turner had got home. A very tight single indeed. 36 for 6, the Diamonds score. The left-handed Smith waits for the left armour Jones, and Sachi Pai with a good bit of fielding at backward point. 36 for 6 will be the score at the end of the 8th over. By comparison, it was 56 without loss, the Thunder score at the end of the over. So I suppose only 20 behind on runs on the board, but it's the wickets column, I suppose, that's the concern at 6.
Definitely, and I think the Diamonds have to say to themselves here, look, okay, the one thing that we've got is plenty of overs left in the game, and if they can just get a partnership here,
Change of bowling at the Dane Road and coming on to bowl,
then maybe there's a chance that they can just find a way to slowly work their way back into the innings and try to build something, and then just really go for it in the back end if they've still got a few wickets in hand.
We thought that we were revelling, weren't we, in the Alex Hartley Nat Siver contest earlier. We thought it might still be going at this stage of the innings, but instead it's a Phoebe Turner Alex Hartley contest now, because Siver was out for 2, Winfield Hill before her for 0. We've seen Armitage go for 0, Glenn for 0, as this one is driven nicely, really nicely, through the offside. Phoebe Graham's going to put in the yards all the way to the fence, but won't cut it off. 4 more runs, 40 for 6, a much needed boundary for Turner, but Hartley happy to just try and Tempt Turner out of shell there by throwing that ball up. Heath was out for 19, Kasperick for 5, and that's why Diamonds find themselves 40 for 6. Still needing another 109 for victory. Another sweetly hit drive, but this time straight back at Alex Hartley, and it doesn't produce a run. Plenty of encouragement for the World Cup winner, former Thunder captain. Just pass that on now to Ellie Threlkeld, and Thunder look like a side that really mean business here. One taken with that on drive, 41 for 6. And it's difficult to see really what Lindsay Smith and Phoebe Turner can do other than set an example to their teammates of how to go about creating an innings in T20 cricket. Here's Smith, left-handed, down the track to Hartley, pushes down the offside, warmly encouraged by her teammates who just need something to cling on to at this point. 4 wickets remaining, 42 on the board.
Even though the teams are quite different, it has a bit of a feel of that County Cup final day.
Certainly does. It's the Lancashire Rose that triumphed that day, much I'm sure to the satisfaction of many of our viewers on Lancs TV. Good to have you all with us for this one. Dot ball to finish the over with for Alex Hartley, 42 for 6, and it's the Red Rose, albeit with a bolt of lightning in front of it, and the assistance of Cumbria and Cheshire in this competition, who are on top in this one. Northern Diamonds, of course, also including Durham and Northumberland in their catchment area. The side struggling once again.
Oh, now this will be exciting with Emma Lamb coming into the bowling. She took 5 for 5 in that final in the County Cup against Yorkshire.
Well, she can only take 4 today because there's only 4 on offer, and Lindsay Smith is the first of them. A little bit of adjustment at the field, plenty back on the leg side. Just the one fielder in the ring at mid-wicket. Nobody behind square, so... But one of the things Alex Hartley says when she does the commentaries is the rule with England when she was there, if there's no one behind square, you have to paddle. Well, there's no chance of paddling that because it's short outside off stump, and Lindsay Smith sends it behind square on the offside. 1 taken. Phoebe Turner comes on to strike, and the field adjusts again. Hannah Jones will go to short third, so there'll still be nobody at 45 on the leg side, which with the ball turning into the right-hander might produce the opportunity for that paddle. And in fact Jones will be moved back to the leg side, so it's a little bit more orthodox. We've got a short fielder at 45, one at backward square leg, a straight mid-wicket and a deep straight mid-wicket. Appeals to the umpire, but they're wishful ones on this occasion, as well as a long on, and then we've got long off, extra cover, and backward point in the ring on the offside. Short, and this one will be hit away behind square, but Jackson will cover the ground. She really set the tone for this innings from a Thunder point of view, with 2 wickets in her first 2 overs, picking up Winfield Hill and Siver, the players with international class. Just 1 added to the total there. 44 for 6 as it's bowled by Lamb, played away into the leg side. 1 run on offer again, 45 for 6, but singles won't change the course of this game at this stage. Phoebe Graham with the fielding up there.
It really was a stunning start by Laura Jackson, wasn't it? That's just set this up nicely for the other Thunder bowlers.
Faye Florence and Mike Perkins with you on Lancs TV as Emma Lamb comes into bowl, and Phoebe Turner can't turn that one away. Lamb seemed more convinced than anyone else out there on the pitch that there was a chance of that being out, but as you say, with a performance in the final of the county T20, she perhaps just expects to get a wicket with every ball at the moment, as this one is played away into the leg side. Jackson has to come all the way off the boundary to do the fielding, but she was alert to the fact that that one wasn't going to be hit hard at her, and did the fielding well. Another over is completed, 46 for 6. The Thunder in control as we reached the end of the 9th over of the innings.
Yes, alert and in control, the Thunder fielders. That was only ever going to be just a single, but 3 fielders ran after that one before Laura Jackson scooped it up in the end. So they've got plenty of energy out there in the field, and I think they don't want to let up now, keep putting the pressure on the Diamonds batters.
10 overs, apologies everybody. The overs clearly ticks over at a different time, and I'd caught me out slightly there. I was thinking it must be 10 overs. It's a halfway point of the innings. Thunder was 69 without loss at this point, and powering on with Lamb's 50 and Boyce's 65. Turner into the attack of the Sophia variety. She'll be bowling to Turner of the Phoebe variety for Diamonds, who drives it nicely down the offside of the pitch. And once again there's a bit of confusion in the Diamonds running. Smith sending Turner back on this occasion, just 1 to the total, 47 for 6 as we begin the 11th over. The game only going one way, still 102 required for victory for the Diamonds. They have just 4 wickets left with which to do it. These two have put on 14 so far, which comparatively feels quite a lot in the context of this innings at Sale Cricket Club. Turner from the Dane Road end of the ground, and it's played away into the offside, and Turner does the fielding off her own bowling. No run. Good smattering of spectators sat on the benches around the edge of the pitch, in little fold-away chairs, and on the park benches here at the Dane Road end. See a pint out already on one of them as this one is played away into the leg side. Threlk held there with the fielding. It's been a thoroughly professional performance so far from Thunder. Put on the runs with the bat, dismissed the international players at the top of the Diamonds innings, and have continued to keep things tight then and keep the wickets column ticking as well. As Turner looks to do exactly the same. Driven powerfully down the offside of the pitch, only finds Boyce. Top scorer of the game so far with 65. 47 for 6. Turner of course came into regional cricket in spectacular fashion. Introduced and had a fine debut in this competition last season as she's pacing in once more and bowls a ball that's cut away into the offside. The ever busy Marshall is there to prevent a run being scored at backward point, and it remains 48 for 6. Just in complete control here, Faith Florence, aren't they, Thunder?
Yes, they are, and it's great to see a side with such a young average age bowling and playing so professionally.
A real performance of a side that looked like a unit here, Thunder. And they're on course for a victory and a bonus point victory as that dot ball brings the over to an end. 48 for 6 at the end of the 11th. Tidy start from Sophia Turner.
Yeah, it'll be good to see what Sophia Turner does this season. So we're taking some wickets in that Dubai pre-season tour, and she'll be looking to really cement herself in this first team for Thunder. She's got plenty of experience seamers to learn from, and it looks like she's going to really be bowling with a lot of professionalism, good line in length, and just keeping it tight.
Faith Florence alongside myself, Mike Perkins here at Sale Cricket Club for Thunder's opening home game of the season. As this one's driven out into the offside. Boyce got a bit of a stop to it, but still has some work to do. And 2 runs will be the damage. It brings up the Diamonds 50, but to no great fanfare given the perilous position they are in the game. Still requiring another 99 for victory, and with just 4 wickets left. Lambowl short of a length, and it's into the gloves of Threlkeld. Smith cannot believe she's not connected with that one, but that unfortunately for her is her fate, and she'll have to have another go here as Lamb twirls away, and again the result's the same. An attempted cut stroke, but nothing on it. Threlkeld there with the gloves.
You feel like there's either going to be a boundary or a wicket coming up very soon. These next couple of deliveries.
I think that's a fairly astute assessment, actually. The pressure is building as Lamb throws it up, and Smith is down the track and just manages to divert it into a gap between the bowler Lamb and the short extra cover fielder in Sophia Turner, who's always busily about her work.
Yeah, so it was neither boundary nor wicket in the end, but she certainly went for it.
Settling over the bat then is Phoebe Turner. Short of a length, worked away behind square, and Jones will come down or come round rather and do the fielding, but won't prevent the single being taken. 52 for 6.
Emma Lamb's been saying in her interviews that she really wants to step up as an all-rounder this year.
It was an interesting comment actually from Lamb as she bowls here, and this one's played away to Alex Hartley at cover. No run taken. That she's almost... Siva's actually one of those players she looks at, which indicates that she sees herself as an all-rounder at that level, and that obviously because she opens the batting, Lamb, people have been looking at, well, will she replace a Winfield Hill, for instance, or a Danny Wyatt, who've been doing the job at the top of the order. But actually maybe she more sees the slot long term when Nat Siva, who is only 29, when she does move on, that maybe that's where Lamb sees herself getting in long term.
Yes, perhaps, and I think, you know, nowadays you have to be able to offer these different options into an international side. When we look at some of these strong international squads, including England, but especially Australia, you see that everybody has a couple of things to offer.
That was very much the mantra of Matthew Mott, who's been given the white ball job with England today, or England men's team rather, today, as that one's cut away into the offside. No
yeah,
run
it's
on
interesting, isn't it, the implications that might have for the Australian women's side. They're such a strong unit. You imagine whoever's the coach is gonna have fun with that side.
Plenty of strong contenders, and I think they cemented their status as a really great team with that World Cup win. Australia, one driven down the ground, 53 for 6. The game drifting, it feels slightly, but Thunder really have done their damage here with their 6 wickets inside the first 7 overs, and with a score of 149, which Diamonds are struggling to chase. Dot ball there, driven firmly back at Hannah Jones. 53 for 6 it remains.
But it seems it was only me. Nobody else moved.
No, it was a definite crowd catch, that one, because it hit the turf quite hard and sprung back up as Hannah Jones bowls again. This one's driven over the top, again bouncing up high off the hard pitches of the square and over and away for a single. Last ball was a dot, but this one does produce a run. 54 for 6. Reminder, South East Stars next up. They start in around 10 minutes time, as this one is bowled by Hannah Jones to Turner. Dabs it away behind square on the offside, picks up 1, but a boundary really is what's needed at this stage, and as you say, it just has a feel of they'll either go for it and get out, or we will see something a little more spectacular. 55 for 6. Smith tries to find that boundary. It is spectacular. It's high into the leg side and away for 4 runs. Jackson was coming round to try and cut it off. She had to sort of almost cut the corner of the circle. No, that doesn't make any sense, does it, cutting the corner of a circle? But she had to sort of try and cut off the angle of the circle as she came round, but just couldn't quite do so. 59 for 6, and Diamonds finish the 13th over with a much needed boundary, but it doesn't look as if it's going to take them to victory. 90 more required for them to get to their target of 149.
I don't think Hannah Jones will mind that too much. That could have just as easily been caught out.
As your co-commentator nervously checks his maths, because that felt one I couldn't get wrong. 59 plus 90 is 149. Don't worry, everyone, we're fine. Phoebe Turner settles over the bat. The trees behind Alex Hartley in the distance as she bowls and is driven into the offside. It's nicely hit, but only nicely, and therefore doesn't produce a boundary. 2 instead taken. 61 for 6. That was another feature of the Thunder innings, was that they ran hard throughout it and made the most of their scoring shots as Hartley bowls. This one's dabbed away into the offside, and a single is on offer. 62 for 6, and Lindsay Smith comes down onto strike. Alex Hartley brings her fielders in on the offside to the left-hander and bowls, and it's edged, and this one will run away down towards the boundary at a fine third. Jackson in pursuit, picks up 2 taken. Ellie Threlkeld, the skipper, must have thought she was right in the game there, but it didn't prove to be the case. And 2 more are added to the total. 64 for 6.
Looks like Diamonds will feel this is the way that they can start to find a way back into the game.
Smith, I think, has just decided she's going to try and run down wherever the opportunity presents itself. It didn't present itself there. It was pushed away into the offside. And a dot ball is the result as Alex Hartley continues to twirl away during this over from the Kingston Drive end of the ground. Sachi Pai on hand to do the fielding on this occasion from cover. Again, no run. That outside edge has maybe just tempered the charging nature of this innings from Lindsay Smith, who's hit this one in the air and will be caught very easily indeed by Emma Lamb at mid-wicket. 64 for 7. A partnership of resistance from Lindsay Smith and Phoebe Turner comes to an end. It adds just the 21 runs, though 31 runs in fact, to the total, taking it up to 64 for 6.
Turner caught Emma Lamb, bowled Alex Hartley for 16.
First wicket off her bowling there for Hartley. I think she was involved in the run out earlier as well.
And the new batter
So all the bowlers getting in on the act.
And Emma Marlowe with a long chat there. She walks to the wicket to join her partner, but it was always, you'd said for a few overs, it just felt like eventually something was going to break there. Something was going to change. Something had to happen. And 64 for 7 is now the total, with Lindsay Smith sat back on the sidelines.
And there was the odd boundary here and there, but you know, you felt that those could just have easily been chances out as well. So Thunder will be pleased to just keep on ticking along like this. I mean, they'll want to finish it as quickly as possible, and they won't mind at all if Diamonds start to go for it a bit, play a few of those rash shots.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to ask somebody like Emma Marlowe or even Phoebe Turner, who's been in there for a while, to come out and play a few shots, but it feels like that's what it needs, and Turner has tried, and she's just found Jackson at cover off the bowling of Turner, who gratefully accepts her first wicket of the innings. It was a flashing drive, advancing down the track, much like at the end of the Thunder innings when we were saying it's what the batters coming to the crease had to do. It felt like it was what Phoebe Turner had to do, but having put on those 31 runs to take the total up to 64, both Smith and Turner have departed from successive deliveries from different bowlers, it has to be said. On this occasion, it is Turner who is out for 16 off the bowling of Sophia Turner, caught well at cover by Laura Jackson.
Indeed, and Thunder fielders looking very bright and sprightly and springy, quite in contrast to some quite despondent Diamond batters walking in and walking out.
It's a very, very different feel to when Diamonds put on that big total in the first game against Lightning, where they looked in complete and utter control scoring 177, the highest score of the first round, and then backing it up with the ball. Kelly and Beaumont offered a fair bit of resistance with the bat, but were never up with the rate in that game. And it's a very, very different game indeed here today, as Diamonds have been set a total of 149, and it just shows the pressure that runs on the board can cause. We say it so often, but so often it is the case. 85 more required for victory. It looks unlikely, as this first ball is driven back to Sophia Turner, just 2 wickets away now at 64 for 8 from victory in this game.
Yes, they wouldn't have forgotten that defeat, you know, not that it will be on their mind necessarily, but...
Rachel Slater waits for Sophia Turner. Slater just prods into the offside, doesn't pick up a run.
If you're Thunder, you're never particularly happy, especially when you lose to a Diamond side, and you want to make sure you balance that ledger and get ahead the next time you meet.
Whereas as people do start to drift away slightly with the other games on today, do make sure you hit that like button as 750 people have today as Turner bowls. It's full and at the stumps, and it helps people find these and find them in future, as well as no run is on offer there. 64 for 8. Still another 85 required for victory for Diamonds. It's very, very unlikely indeed at this stage, but thank you for as many as 3,100 of you joining us all at the same time today. Been much appreciated as Sophia Turner bowls, and this one's driven down the onside of the wicket. Alex Hartley and Georgie Boyce, who made 65 with the bat, converge on it, and it's Boyce who does the fielding. 1 is the damage to the total. 84 more required for victory, but it's almost an irrelevant figure at this point. 65 for 8 is probably what tells the story here. The Diamonds in all sorts of trouble, losing 6 wickets inside the first 7 overs of their pursuit of this total of 149. Sophia Turner looking to add another wicket to her collection. Bowls outside the leg stump, and we'll wait to see what this is signalled as. But it looks like it will be a wide, and it is indeed a wide, which I think Threlkeld would have been quite annoyed if she'd had a blemish on her buyer's column there because of that. 67 for 8 then, with the batters changing end as well to add to the 1 for the wide. Here's Turner. A little bit short of a length, pulled away. Neat stroke actually, and I think for a second Collins thought there was someone behind her and then realised it was her job to go and pursue it, and she does so well with a sliding pickup just inside the rope. Another couple added to the total. 69 for 8 then at the end of the 15th over of the innings, and all the time the comparison just creeping away from the Diamonds. 114 for 1 were Thunder at this stage of their innings, and as I say, it was the batting of Boyce and Lamb that set this up, and then the bowling of Jackson at the start of the innings, ripping things open for a team, and Hartley and Graham and Jones with 2 in her first over as well have chipped in before Sophia Turner added her wicket to the collection.
Well, this is the point that the Thunder wickets started to fall in their innings, but Diamonds have a much bigger job on their hands, and if the wickets are falling now, then they'll all be out pretty soon.
They have just the 2 to play for. Emma Marlowe on strike, pushes into the onside off the back foot, but doesn't find a run to straight mid-wicket. An absolute delight to have you with us. Hashtag bring the Thunder to tell us what you thought of this game. As Marlowe waits, taps her bat and then stands tall as Graham bowls, and lightning fast hands again from Threlkeld, who she'll stand up to anyone because she's just that damn good. And that was another excellent bit of wicket keeping from Ellie Threlkeld. 69 for 8 it remains. And two batters really just have to try and take something with them here by having a bit of a go at this bowl and seeing what they can do, just in case it's required at another day. That's a very neat drive, but it looks like it'll only bring 2 before the fielding is done out there. And 2 will indeed be the score. 71 for 8.
Thunder will want to bowl the Diamonds out completely. It's important you keep setting little goals even when you're completely in control of a match. Keep trying to go one further, do one better.
Here comes Graham. Bowls, and again it just jumps a little from outside off stump and into the gloves of Threlkeld, who was poised, waiting. And another over appears to be ticking by, and it will be a disappointed Diamonds camp, but they'll know their 5 points from the first game means they'll be level with the 5 Thunder will get from this game, as this one's short of a length and turned into the onside. No run on offer, as there has not been for much of this over. 71 for 8. The chase 149, remember, well out of reach. And the pressure was on the Thunder a little here. They'd not got Cross or Eccleston, their international players, who are both at the T20 challenge, as that one goes through into the gloves of Threlkeld. Another dot ball. 71 for 8 the score at the end of the 16th over. They'll be playing in that, it's almost an exhibition tournament, isn't it, in its current form, the T20 challenge, but Kate Cross playing for Velocity. Sophie Eccleston will be competing for the Supernovas. But it put the pressure on the likes of Boyce and the likes of Lamb and the likes of Hartley, the more senior players. But what's been impressive is that Jackson, I think, sort of really led the second half of this innings, the new professional contract, and she's proved why she's got it as the woman from Ormskirk.
Definitely, and it's been a good test for Thunder in that respect, missing a couple of their key bowlers, and you know that they'll definitely be keeping an eye on the score, and I don't know what the time difference is, but if they get a chance, you know that they'll definitely have a look. We'll look at the game later on and see how their teammates are doing. I'm really pleased to see that they've stood up without them
Here's
there.
Lamb from the Dane Road end, and this one is defended back down the pitch for no run. Yeah, I'm sure Sophie Eccleston and Kate Cross, if they're not watching right now, they'll be playing this back and enjoying what they see, as this one is driven away into the offside. Alex Hartley is in hot pursuit and sends the ball back into the non-strikers end. 72 for 8.
You feel like the Diamonds will just want to make sure there's somebody there at the end of the last over. They've still got batters at the crease.
Yeah, they've got to think, right, if we're in this situation and there is a chase on that's not the 77 runs they currently require, can we get a bit of practice here that'll just set us in good stead? That one driven to Hannah Jones, but they've still got to be looking to move the board along, still play a shot if it's there to be hit. But Lamb's not offered anything so far this over, and again a sort of deceptive one that looked as if it was going to be full of a length and then just dipped down into a better length. Good bit of flight from Emma Lamb, who will, you imagine, be on the radar for England. Throws this one up, and that allows the feet to be used by Marlowe. Driven firmly, but only at Sophia Turner. And there is no run. Lamb once more in glorious sunshine here in Sale, as this one is again played back hard at Emma Lamb, but she'll quite happily add the dot to her collection. 72 for 8 as this game just drifts away, but it's a fantastic scoreline from a Thunder point of view, because it means they have 77 runs to play with going into the last 2 overs, and I don't know much, but I know that will require extras if Diamonds are to get it. So this game is done, barring a 5 wides or something similar, and of course 12 sixes, which I don't think we're going to see.
Imagine seeing 12 sixes.
It would be quite something as Slater settles over her bat and prods it into the ground. So the prospect of that most extraordinary of all finishes evaporates almost like the puff of dust from the pitch as the ball hit it once it was played back down between the legs of Slater. She waits again and looks to drive. There's an appeal for LBW, but the umpire made that tilt of the head as if to say, I'm not sure.
She's always threatening though, Hannah Jones. She's always thereabouts, always in the game.
As I say, most of her wickets came in the Rachel Hayo Flint Trophy last year, so she'll be glad that she's already picked up 2 here, and if she can add 3 and 4, that'll be very nice for her indeed. In fact, that'll take her up to the number she got in this competition last year as she bowls another good full delivery, which is hard to score off, and there is no score off it. It's just a little chance for a few spectators to refresh their positions as this is bowled. Hannah Jones picks up her 3rd wicket of the innings, advancing down the track. Came Slater and didn't connect with the ball there, and that means that Hannah Jones has got her 3rd wicket of the innings. It's 74 for 9, and the Diamonds are fading away to defeat, and the Thunder are heading towards a celebration of victory.
Indeed, and there's no need for the Thunder to hold back now. They've really got to go for get that last wicket, bowl the side out, and take that amazing performance into their next few games.
Well, Katie Levitt took 22 for 4 from her 4 overs in Thunder's innings, mopping up wickets at the end with her superb leg spin. But now she's out there with the bat, and it's Hannah Jones who's got the chance of getting her forfeit. She's already picked up the wickets of Bess Heath, which was a crucial one. She's the top scorer of the innings with just 19, as Levick plays it away in the offside. Jones also got Abby Glenn, LBW, for naught. As Levick waits once more for Jones to bowl. It's worked away into the leg side. Jackson paces in off the boundary. She's been good in the field as well as with the ball. 3 overs, 8 for 2, Jackson's figures so far. And that brings to an end the Hannah Jones over. And she has now taken 3 wickets from her overs. There is 1 more left in the game.
At the Dane Road end of the ground.
And the score is 75 for 9. Hartley taking the ball. Just waits for the field to move. It's Phoebe Graham who has to do the long yards up to long off, and forward goes Katie Levick defensively. Doesn't acquire a run on that occasion. Hartley again. Bowls a ball that's cut away and no run on offer. Easily dealt with by Sachi Pai. And here comes Hartley again to bowl a ball that's squeezed into the onside. Does bring a single on this occasion. 76 for 9.
Alex Hartley's also said that she's feeling good about her cricket, feeling good about being back with the squad, playing good cricket again.
Just 9 balls of the game remaining then as Hartley is launched high into the sky. This could be the last ball of the game. No, Georgie Boyce can't quite keep it within the ropes. She'd taken a few paces forward and then had to go back and realised she was only going to tip it over the rope for 6, and Emma Marlowe takes a little bit of pride with a 82 for 9. The score moves on to.
It's in the air a long time, that one, and
Here's Alex Hartley to bowl again to Marlowe, who's down the track and drives into the offside. It skips up off the turf before rolling its way to Phoebe Graham. Another 1 to the total, 83 for 9.
It looked like the ball kind of carried Georgie Boyce over the rope there.
Yeah, as I say, she'd just come in to make sure she wasn't going to go over, and then she had to go back, and it just wasn't quite going to go her way. As Hartley bowls, this is driven neatly down the offside. Phoebe Graham comes in and we'll keep it to 1. Katie Levick gets to the non-striker's end, but it's the end of the over, so it'll become the striker's end once again for the final over. 84 for 9 the score. Thunder in complete control of this game. Reminder, plenty more fixtures to come after this one, and certainly the Southern Vipers versus Lightning at 6:30 will be one that you will have an eye on as Thunder and Diamonds fans, because those are the other 2 teams in this group. South East Stars next play against Central Sparks at Guildford. That game is underway. It's just 10 minutes into that game, and Sunrisers are playing against Western Storm at 7 o'clock at Chelmsford this evening as well. So 2 games to pick from this evening, as well as a bit of later afternoon entertainment after the early afternoon of entertainment. And how fitting it's going to be Laura Jackson to finish off the bowling from the Thunder point of view. She started it off with 2 wickets in her first 2 overs, and what 2 wickets those were, as this one's played away for 2 into the onside. 86 for 9, picking up Winfield Hill with her 4th ball, and then Nat Siver as well in her 2nd over, and that really set up Thunder for their victory today. Boyce and Lamb piling on the runs in the first innings of the game, as Levick slaps this one away into the offside and picks up a run. 87 for 9 the Diamonds total.
Seems a long time ago now that Laura Jackson took those first 2 wickets, and she'd dearly love, I bet, to just finish on that high note, get this last one.
The Sparks are batting against South East Stars as Marlowe plays this one away into the leg side and will pick up 1. Hasn't quite been able to replicate the 6 of the previous over just yet in this one. 88 for 9 the score moves on to. No chance of the target of 149 being reached now. In fact, Sparks moving on to 31 without loss after 3 overs against South East Stars in the 2nd game of the day in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the 20-over regional competition. That was a really good slower ball from Laura Jackson. It deceived Levick and spun back past the top of the off stump into the gloves of Threlkeld. A superb piece of bowling, just to show she can mix it up as well as bowling those seam-up deliveries. 88 for 9 then, chasing 149. That's not going to happen. Thunder on course for victory. This one will be edged away and will head for 4 runs and take the total into the 90s. 92 for 9. But Thunder have done their work today, and they've done it well, and they've taken complete control of this game. As the final ball will be bowled here by Laura Jackson. Thunder on the brink of victory, and a 5-point victory too, which will take them level with Diamonds at the top of the table. As this one is cut away into the offside, they take a single. It matters not, because Thunder have won the game, and they've got to run out as well just to complete the work of the day. Laura Marshall at backward point, running out Emma Marlowe. 92 all out the Diamonds. They come up well short of the target of 149. So the Thunder victorious today by 56 runs. Emma Lamb with 50, Georgie Boyce with 65, and then wickets for Jackson and Jones, as well as Hartley and Graham, and 1 for Turner too. Saw the Thunder to victory. Faith Florence, you must be very pleased with what you've seen from Thunder today. I know they're your local team, and the team that have lured you into supporting them and following them round, and that is a very, very good day for Thunder.
Look, if you're a Thunder fan like me, this is heaven. Absolute heaven of a performance. To do this on our home ground, really take it to the diamonds, you know, and you sort of get that psychological battle as well. You get one up psychologically on the diamonds because, of course, Lancashire versus Yorkshire, we won the final there for Lancashire, but this game today, Thunder have really put a marker down for what they can do in the season. I think they've really executed their plans and they've shown how they want to go about it this season, and we didn't quite see it work out there against the Vipers. And then when you looked at the Diamonds lineup at the start of the game, see some of those international batters like Siver and Winfield Hill, Lee Casper with the ball, you wondered how big a task this was going to be. But you know, for the Thunder, as long as they stick together and do what they can do, it's never in doubt, and it's just so pleasing to see that performance from them. So convincing, so comprehensive, everyone contributing to the win. Really tight in the field. They've ironed out those little mistakes that occurred over the weekend, and so let's just keep this energy going, keep this momentum going.
Well, thank you to Faith Florence for joining us today on the Lancs TV stream. Thunder's opening home game of the season and a victory by 56 runs, a comprehensive victory. It was built on the 50 from Emma Lamb and the 65 from Georgie Boyce. Then in reply, we saw Lauren Winfield Hill bowled with the 4th ball of the Diamonds innings. Laura Jackson picking her up bowled. Nat Siver then departed in the 3rd over, the 2nd of Jackson's victims in her 2nd over. Siver making just 2 from 10 balls. Holly Armitage was next to go, caught by Danielle Collins off the bowling of Phoebe Graham for naught. Abby Glenn was out then to Hannah Jones when she came on, picking up 2 wickets in her 1st over. Glenn was the first of them, LBW, and it was followed up by the wicket of the opener Bess Heath, who was LBW for 19. From that point on, with 6 wickets down inside, with 5 wickets down inside 6 overs, it looked as if Thunder would always be in control. Kasparik was next to go, a run out in the 7th over as she was sent back by her partner Turner and was run out by Alex Hartley for just 5 runs. The wicket halted for a little bit, a gap until the 14th over when Lindsay Smith was out, getting a leading edge and caught at mid-wicket by Emma Lamb off the bowling of Alex Hartley. We then had the wicket of Turner out with the score on 64 for 8. 2 wickets in 2 balls, although from different bowlers. It was the wicket this time of Turner was out. Phoebe Turner was out to Sophia Turner, caught by Jackson at cover. Hannah Jones was able to claim 1 more. That was Slater with a score on 74 for 9. And then Emma Marlowe was the last to go from the very last ball of the innings, a run out as she attempted a quick single to Laura Marshall. A comprehensive victory then for Thunder by 56 runs. The bowling figures: Laura Jackson, 4 overs, 16 for 2. Alex Hartley, 4 overs, 21 for 1. Phoebe Graham, 3 overs, 15 for 1. Hannah Jones, 4 overs, 23 for 3. Emma Lamb, 3 overs, 9 for no wicket. And Turner taking 7 for 1. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again.